Another thing, y'all, when y'all understand what Mal is talking about, circle prayer, you have to understand that's gumbo. When you hold in hands, they don't ask what faith everybody is or what faith everybody believes in. When you hold hands, you are linking false doctrine together. So you get one world government type of prayer. And the Most High say he don't hear the prayers of lawbreakers. So if you're linking hands for one event, say in the Black Lives Matter movement, you got a bunch of doctrines and gods mixed up in the same pot. It's like gumbo. And you know what's in gumbo if it ain't explained. You don't ask what's in it. You know, even like if we fix gumbo, you have some Israelite question, hold on, this ain't New Orleans, is it? You like, come on, bro, you know it ain't like that, but you almost have to ask. So in like manner, when you hold hands in a circle like that, you are transferring energy. That's why to be baptized in the Holy Spirit, they will put their hand on you. That's transferring energy. So that's why the Most High wants you to be separate. Look, you can have a black-hearted Israelite that you holding hands with, and we have to understand that's why we still have to hold our hands up high. And when you hold them up high, y'all, that tests your strength as well when they start to come down. And you start to hold them right here then, and pretty soon they're going to be right here. But as you hold them up high, you're gaining strength in how to reach for the Most High, reach for the heaven. So y'all, we want to understand that that's the reason why the hands must be held up separately. Because we can't determine what the next individual sitting next to you is thinking. Like Judas Iscariot was sitting at the Last Supper table. You know, but the Most High never just pointed him out to the other disciples. He let his own conscience bear witness against him. Is it our Lord? Thou hast said. All of them asked, was it our Lord? But when Judas asked that, he said, thou sayest. You know, your words going to come back to bite you if this is what your mindset is on. But today's topic, y'all, just had a little problem with the computer for a second, but we're back on point. I'm going to get it up here going. But while we're doing that, just wanted to explain what the topic today is Judah, the fourth tribe prophecies. So a lot of times people will ask you, how do you know we are from the tribe of Judah? How do you know where the other tribes are at? Right now, there's in-depth study. Bro, got a lot of books up here that details where the other tribes went. But scripturally, prophecy determines who every nation on earth is. It has nothing to do with color. We want y'all to understand this ain't no black power movement or no Pan-African movement. It ain't about dark-skinned color. You know, what is Pan-African anyway? Some kind of dish? That's what you would think it is, a gumbo dish. And they ain't selling gumbo dish. Right, so we want it to be understood. Prophecy identifies this nation of people, and you have to fulfill prophecy for you to understand where it's at. In 1 Corinthians 12 chapter, the Messiah lists the gifts of the Spirit. They're also mentioned in Isaiah 11 chapter. It talks about that when Christ would come, he would have all of the gifts of the Spirit. Wisdom is only one gift of the Spirit. Because you have wisdom, you may not have interpretation of tongues. You may not be able to speak different languages. You may not have healing power, but you got wisdom. You know, wisdom would tell you to go to the doctor when you pass the point of your foot green. You can't keep on chewing on juju roots. You got to get to the doctor. That's what the physician was for. Luke was a physician. So we know we put doctors in place, you know, for our well-being once we get past getting outside and taking care of our temple. What you got, bro?
Hey, can we, since we on this today, can we touch a little bit on how, on some scriptural references to why it's important to understand that these blessings, it comes down, it's a bloodline thing. It's not just a place. Like, even, because I was reading on 11 and 2 y'all, talking about Gentiles being grafted. I didn't know if he was talking about Gentiles or Gentiles.
Well, yeah, we'll hit on under the difference of Greek and Grecians. So that there's a difference in there that plays part to both of them. But the Most High has included all of the nations of the earth somewhere in his writings, because he said the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. So there's different things he set up for his use that's for not for us to look at and say, well, okay, this isn't worthy or that isn't worthy. When he says I have things in place, like, perfect example, we're going to get moving, is like when some people read the dietary law and they see about swine and say don't touch even its carcass, right? So what does the football players play with? Right. What's that called? Pig skin. A pig skin, but that's not a carcass. That's the skin of a pig that's been dried, manufactured, sweated out. The scripts say don't touch its carcass. That's a dead, the dead, you know what a carcass is. When it's a grown pig, a dead body laying on side, it said don't touch that. Because once you say that and you use that analogy, then one would have to explain what is badger skin doing covering the Ark of the Covenant from the family of the wheat. And it's the most righteous thing that was sent here on earth for us besides the Messiah until he came. So you would have to explain what is badger skin doing on covering the Ark. But it's badger skin, not badger carcass. So those type things that if you're not ready for them, people will throw right back at you. And we have to understand what a football was. When Antiochus and them pushed that gymnasium work in there, they used to cut the breasts off of women and sew them together. The cut off ends. And that's where you get the nipple on both ends like the football. And when football is naturally rugby, when you grab that ball, you had to hold on to that in your breast, like Songs of Solomon say you should be always enamored with your woman's breast. Always know that's yours, so that's why they hold it so tight. Now a fumbler, what they do with a fumbler? Put them on the bench. You don't deserve to hold a breast ball. So these things, they're not their imagination. They're getting these things from somewhere, but that was the original football. It was never really pigskin. It was human or women's breasts sewn together, cut off and sewn together. So with those types, we want to be extra careful on how we cover this thing from all four corners, because Satan is absolutely super sharp, and we ain't seen, now he's unleashing his demons to the world right now, because technology is out there and they're coming with every corner. What they're looking for is the spot that you ain't covered. You got to be on. You got to have your loins girded. Like your man talking the other day, how you got your shoulder pads on, you got your elbow pads, knee pads on, but you ain't got your jock strap on, your cup. Well, Satan come and kicking between the legs then. What is an elbow pad gonna do when you hit the ground like this, can't breathe? So y'all, we just want to get that understanding out there today, and what we're gonna start is Revelation 19th chapter. And we're going to talk about prophecy, which is a gift that the Most High gives to every man. That's the one you get automatic of the gifts that's mentioned in 1 Corinthians 12th chapter. You get prophecy, so it's without excuse for you not to understand this gift is a freebie. So you shouldn't hide this money under your pillow and not understand what it means. Once you're given a gift, you're given a gift. Soon as you accept the Messiah and his Father's word, you're given a free gift, and that's called prophecy, to understand where you fit in the pages of this book, because it deals with every event that's happening on planet Earth right now. So we're going to get down there. Hit Revelation 19. You can start at 10 or back up wherever you need to. Y'all, we write every scripture down on the book, and this is the main thing, y'all. We want you to be able to be fully persuaded in yourself. You won't hear one script and we move to something else, private interpretation. You're going to full well get your two witnesses that establish every prophecy, and there'll be many more that goes with that, but there's a minimum of two. So y'all, we want to get that clear, and so that you may be able to take this to somebody and you don't get stumped and say, wait a minute, I got to call this person, or I got to do this, or let me go back over my notes. Ain't nothing wrong with saying, let me go back over my notes before I give an answer. You can't just let stuff fly out of your mouth, especially, y'all, if we're saying we're the people of the book and we're dressed as such. You're claiming a brand name that's above every name.
Right.
You can't disrespect that brand like it's a bootleg version of a Gucci bag or something like that. Would you buy some Payless shoes because they got the Nike swoop on them and Payless? First thing you think, now come on, when Nike start selling these or these bootleg? I mean, Payless selling Nike. These got to be bootleg. So y'all, Revelation 19.
Verse 10.
Yeah, got that name?
Yep. Everybody there? Start at verse 7.
Okay.
Revelation 19, verse 7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come,
Right.
and his wife has made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints.
So we see that clean white linen is the righteousness of the saints. This is why we can't get caught up in color and looking for words to say black or white in the scripture, because that's going to lead you astray. There's no individual on earth that's an absolute white in color or absolute black in color. There's extremely dark brown, like Hershey's super dark chocolate. It almost looks black, but it ain't. You know, so we don't want to get caught up in those terms, because a lot of times black, when you see the scripture mention black, it compares it to something to let you know that I'm talking about color. Like, it says they're blacker than the coal. Or black into the ground, they're dark as the tents of Kedar. So one would need to go look at the tents of Kedar to see how dark they are, and then you know it's talking about color. But black could be a mourning state. Like they got Black Friday, Black Monday is when trouble is happening. You know, so you don't want to get them too mixed up when Israel is in a mourning state. You know it's already talking about Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen. Verse 9. Verse 9, I apologize. And he has said unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, These are the true sayings of Yahweh.
So when you're invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb, or Christ acknowledging his righteous servants, if you included in that number, you blessed. Because you in salvation at this point. You know, this is the Feast of Tabernacles. This is the major feast that you want to be in. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not.
So at this point, when we're talking about bowing, like Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, bowed to her, David bowed to Saul, but the key word is worship. If you see bowing and worship tied in the same thing, or somebody bowing to worship, let's say if you go to a king and you do this, that don't mean you worshiping that king. There has to be worship behind it. That's just a form of respect or reverence, so to speak. But when you talk about worshiping, when whoever this was, when John bowed down at that angel like you must be God, he told him don't do it, not even to me, and I'm an angel. Read on some more.
I am thy fellow servant.
What it is?
Fellow servant.
See, so it's always thy fellow servant or thy brother. We are brethren with the angels. We are brethren with all the prophets. None of them is up like this. So when you hear terms like, unless you come under commanding general this person or that person, you're following men, and you're making men right arm, and they're dependent on Christ. What you doing following them?
Exactly.
You know, and then they'll try to use where Paul was talking about Barnabas, and it said these men are men of the law, follow them. Well, when he said, Peter, upon this rock build my church, he wasn't talking about follow Peter. what he was saying, what Peter said, the doctrine he said, I believe thou art the Christ, and this is the reason why. Follow that doctrine, because the very next verse, he calls Peter Satan. So we don't want to get that misconstrued or somebody throw you a verse out there. That would be the next thing to ask. Well, what about Peter then? Because Christ called him Satan as soon as that happened. And then, okay, you talk about Paul here again. 2 Corinthians 12, Paul got a thorn in his side when he went to the third level of heaven to remind him, you still a man. Though you in a form of God, you're going to die like a man. So we don't want to ever get it twisted that anybody look at any individual down here or anybody else other than your brethren, and Christ is our master. He's our high priest, he's our rabbi, he's all of that. And you're looking at it, you moving to put anybody else in place of that, you dishonor your head. That's right.
Where we at?
Read that again. See thou do it not.
Right.
I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus.
What they have?
The testimony of Jesus.
So this is the key. If they have the testimony, that's what you're looking for. You can't be concerned about what letters in the alphabet and get caught up in linguistics. You're waiting to hear the testimony. What's the testimony? Look, Ben Carter called himself Yeshua. Wrong way, been wrong way down there in Florida, called himself Yeshua. He got a roll on his hat, don't he? But what does his testimony speak of? Himself. Born in Enid, Oklahoma. The scripture says the Messiah was born in Bethlehem of Judea. So we got a problem with his testimony and his title and his name that he's calling himself. He said, I'm coming in the name of the Lord. Not with them testimonies you ain't. And then his witnesses come down here saying, well, some say Miami is in the shape of Judea. What? Who says that? Let's read some more.
Hey, y'all write this down right here. 2 Timothy chapter 2. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 7 through 9. The testimony, right?
Right.
It separates from the side.
2 Timothy chapter 2.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 7 through 9. It says, consider what I say, and the Lord give thee understanding in all things. Remember that Jesus Christ, Yahushua, of the seed of David, was raised from the dead, according to my gospel, wherein I suffer as an evildoer, even unto bonds. But the word of the Most High is not bound.
That's right. So y'all, don't let anybody pull you into, you have to look at this individual because you're gonna disrespect the Most High. You're gonna disrespect your head. You're gonna look at this man like he can deliver. If you look at those videos out there talking about this man, this one man said, I give my life for this man because he went and took a job in slavery. You went and took a job in slavery.
And on top of that, an accounting job.
An accounting job so you could sleep on the floor of the place so it wouldn't get closed down. You gonna give your life for that? You would trade a Negro sleeping on the floor. He ought to have a job anyway. What you mean he went and took a job? He worked 2 slaveries. 2 slaveries, he worked a job, and this is what you give your life to about that so the school can stay open? Look, the school is government property. It's on government land. They can shut it down anytime they get ready. What you gonna do when the mark of the beast come out? What's gonna happen to the school? Y'all want the keys back? Take the mark of the beast. What's gonna happen then?
Take it in water.
Absolutely. If you want to stay in the school. But to say he slept on the floor and this the reason, and Christ, the way he was beaten more than any man and nailed to some wood, and you gonna take over some Negro sleeping comfortably on the floor? I bet he had snacks there and juice. Where we at?
Still in that same verse. That have the testimony of Jesus.
Right.
Worship God.
Do what?
Worship God.
Right.
For the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy.
So when you testify and this testimony comes out of your mouth, you have the spirit of prophecy already on you. You can't have the spirit of prophecy if you don't acknowledge this. It's not going to be given to you. This is why the non-messianics fight and keep swimming upstream, trying to take him out of the prophecies of the Old Testament.
Stumbling at that stumbling.
They can't get the prophecy, so they start naming who the prophets could be. Maybe it's Hezekiah. Maybe it's Joshua the son of Nun. Wrong. Son of Nun. He's not a Judite. We got problems with who you keep picking. And you think we're going to go through the pick list with you all day till you think you can pick the right one? You got the right one already in your writing, in the writings that you say I'm only going to listen to. And that's the Tanakh or whatever, the first 5 books. That's all I'm going to read. Well, it's all over that. Yeah. Let's get some more. Where we at? Let's hit for that.
You just want that verse 10? Read 11.
Yeah. No, that's good right there. So I just want to establish what prophecy is, and prophecy going to identify the Messiah. This prophecy is going to identify us as a people, what condition we will be in, so that the questions you would ask, is your people, did they get off them slave ships? Now I'm not talking about only in America, but I'm talking about if they came from South America, or from the Caribbean island, did they get off a slave ship over there and then came here? That's what we're talking about. If they did, then they are fulfilling being one of these 12 tribes. And we're going to go through how also the breastplate of Aaron, the stones in there, identify our character and how we will look for each tribe. In which the nation of this world has turned into what's called mood rings now. Or your birthstones. Right, birthstones weren't for no individual, birthstones were for a tribe. So we'll get into all of that, but y'all, we're going to go ahead and move forward. Genesis 49. And what we're doing here is we're going to go through the prophecies that will follow Judah, or the tribes of Judah, in the last days. From the time that Joseph was given them on his deathbed in Egypt. But Joseph told him, y'all don't leave. Jacob told him, don't leave my bones here in Egypt. Dig me up and take me home. So, y'all, we want to get that understood that when he gave these last prophecies, after being in Egypt over 17 years, so he gave up and he told each one of his sons, this is what's going to happen to you in the last days. And then we're going to go into the book of the 12 patriarchs. And we're going to deal with the tribe of Judah, just the book of Judah. But we got some more books here that we're going to deal with the other lost tribes. But we specifically are dealing with Judah today because that's what we represent. When we holler 4th tribe, y'all, we got to be able to stand on that and not nobody tell us, you 2nd tribe. You don't even know it. You 11th tribe. If you rep it, you got to be able to stand on what you believe. You got to be fully persuaded in your own mind that nobody don't tell you somebody else. Because that's what's happening to us. If you don't completely know who you are, they'll tell you who they want you to be. Yes, sir. Go ahead, read.
Y'all, this is the definition of prophecy. It says a discourse emanating from divine inspiration and declaring the purposes of God, whether by reproving and admonishing the wicked, or comforting the afflicted.
That's right.
Or revealing things hidden, especially by foretelling future events.
Right.
Used in the New Testament of the utterance of Old Testament prophets. Used in the New Testament of the utterance of Old Testament prophets. Of the prediction of events related to Christ's kingdom and its speedy triumph, together with the consolations and admonitions pertaining to it. The spirit of prophecy, the divine mind,
right,
to which the prophetic faculty is due.
Did y'all see who it was pertaining to? Christ's kingdom. So, and this is what Paul talked about. He said you can't call Christ a curse and then expect to be able to break down the scripture. We had another messianic talking about, well, he don't really exist. He's like the tooth fairy. But yet, the next breath out of his mouth, he's trying to explain Matthew 4:4. Well, Christ did, I have to say he did keep the law. Wait a minute. You just was calling him fictitious and he don't exist. And now you're trying to use Matthew the 4th chapter to explain yourself. To prove your point that he kept some laws, but wait a minute, he shouldn't keep no law. He's fictitious. That's what you started off saying.
Back then.
And y'all, and this is what we get, when we talk about the word syncretism. S-Y-N, tism. Y'all Google it, it'll spell out the rest of it for y'all. But it's the mixture of two doctrines to try to explain something else. It's like when they try to say, because we speak of the virgin birth, they try to say, well, y'all talking about the Immaculate Conception. Well, you don't know what the Immaculate Conception means. You need to Google that and see what that means, because that's not lining up with Matthew 1, Luke 3. That's totally something else. When you say the rapture, that's not lining up with 1 John 5:7, Genesis 1 and 1. It's not lining up with Genesis 1:26 either. Let us make man. This is Elohim. These are the three that bear record, not the Trinity. That's another doctrine. We're not talking about that. Or the rapture. You mean the great gathering. Mentioned in Jeremiah 3, Matthew 24. The great gathering. 2 Thessalonians 2. That's called gathering, not rapture, swooped up away in something else. It's the quick shift to give you something else. It seems just like it. Like they say, frog legs taste like chicken. But don't go eat no frog legs to compare, because it still ain't going to be chicken. It's still going to be frog legs, ain't it? Yeah. Let's read some more. What we at? Genesis 49 chapter. And we're going to get this, y'all. Like I said, we're going to get the 12 tribes. For all y'all don't have it, we're going to put it up on the board so that we all read together. And it's going to explain. And then when you start seeing Judah, and in like manner, it's for all the other nations on the planet Earth too. All of the other nations must fulfill their prophecy, so we don't get caught up in the different names that the world calls different people. You know what I'm saying? If you start chasing those names, then you'll never get to prophecy. There's landmass prophecies, and then there's prophecies of the people. When he's talking about, and the land of Israel and Jerusalem mourning, that ain't talking about the people at that time. They're talking about the land may be desolate. It's mourning. The seed is not in the land. It's somewhere else. It's carried away captive. So it's desolate. Ain't nothing sprouting, because the righteous seed ain't there bringing fruition to the land. So it's desolate land. When Christ came, Jerusalem was a root out of dry. He was a root out of dry ground. Jerusalem had become dry. False doctrine. That's what he asked Peter, didn't he? Who do men say I am? Some say you Jeremiah. Some say you did. Some say this. That included reincarnation. It included sun worship. That's what they was telling. It's all kind of doctrines here. It's gumbo here in Jerusalem now. So Genesis 49, y'all. We'll start about 1 and 2. I think we'll read all the way down, because we'll see how they lost it. Reuben and Simeon and Levi, and why it went to the 4th tribe. Genesis 1, you go down that till we go to 49. Yeah, we're going 1 through where we're going 12.
Everybody there, Genesis 49? We're going to praise. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I might tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
So we always talk about the last days, y'all, but we have to understand when the last days started. The last days started when we got run out of Jerusalem. That's when the last days ain't just started because we in America now. The last days started when we got run out of Jerusalem, when the land became desolate.
Countdown to Christ's return.
Countdown to Christ's return started then. You were in the last days. Go ahead, read some more, brother.
Verse 2. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob.
Ye sons of who?
Of Jacob.
Right.
And hearken unto Israel, your father.
See, and Jacob's name was changed to Israel.
Right.
When he wrestled with an angel. Look, y'all, a lot of times you'll wrestle with an angel in your sleep. But it's usually a succubus or an incubus or a demon of Satan that have you wrestling with him. You got to win that battle. See, Jacob wouldn't let that angel go. That angel like, this boy won't this blessing. I mean, the angel strapped, it pulled his hip out the sock. Wrestling with that, but you wrestle with demons in your sleep when whoever you land next to, or if you're laying by yourself and there's nobody to wake you up, you got to scrap in your sleep. You got to know laws, statutes, and judgments in your sleep. If you didn't, you wouldn't even use the carnal term, and when you got a discussion, you say, let me do what on it till the morning. Let me do what? Let me sleep on it. So you got to pray before you go to sleep, so that you're understanding. So you're saying, after I have a good night rest, then I can make this determination tomorrow. A lot of times we have to sleep on things and meditate so our sleep be sweet, and then we talk to the Most High in our dreams and visions, and He'll answer. So then you can answer the next morning, unless you done something wrong in them dreams and visions, you don't wake up. Well, sleep is the cousin of death. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Ruth, thou art my firstborn.
Right.
My might.
It's what?
My might.
See, firstborn is always your might. This is why when you read in Deuteronomy 21, when it says, if a man has two wives, the inheritance of the firstborn, if he loved the second wife more, the inheritance, the first wife had a child, you can't take his inheritance and give it to the second one. Right. You can't. So that's your strength. That's your might. That's your firstborn. It don't change. So and this is what women of the Bible used to always be jockeying for. Or if you just were the father, just had 20 children. That firstborn son is where it goes to when they would divvy out the inheritance. He get called up. You number one. Unless you done something to strip you of that birthright. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3 again. Ruth, thou my firstborn, my might, right, and the beginning of my strength.
The beginning of what?
My strength.
Why y'all think he's saying that? The beginning of his strength. Well, there's more to that. If he died tomorrow, this is the offspring of Jacob. This is his firstborn. This is the offspring of Jacob. This is the strength of him. This is what should be cared for. And you got to make sure your strength is in righteousness, your firstborn. This is why we had to get kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Because Adam's firstborn, it wasn't in the strength of his righteousness, because he took and he had intercourse through a wicked mindset. So even though Abel came back, because the children are not to suffer, basically be judged for the sins of the father, that can't happen. But the fathers of eating sour grapes and our teeth are on edge, meaning that we may take some of the punishments that they caused us. Just like when they tell you, a woman who's pregnant, you can't eat this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't be involved with that, because everything you take and you go through that umbilical cord to the baby. So you can cause punishment for the baby. That don't mean that baby's being judged by that. That means you're not following instruction. And you're causing a problem. That baby still will be judged on if it broke laws when they get to the age of accountability. At that point, read some up. Go ahead.
The excellency of dignity and the excellency of power.
Right.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not accept, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
And see, y'all have to understand, when he said the excellency of power, when you name somebody junior, that means that this is little me. That's why Yeshua, Yahweh's salvation of the Almighty, he's junior. Ain't nobody else junior on this planet. Yohana ain't junior. Nobody else. Benjamin Carter ain't junior. Your pastor ain't junior. He's not J.R. Go ahead.
Thou hast wentest up to thy father's bed.
Right.
Then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch.
And see, when we talk about a couch was, back in them days, you would sit on it as well as roll it out as your bed at the end of the day. But what he did is Jacob had his concubine Bilhah, his little brother's mom, probably around his age or not even probably younger than Reuben was. But he couldn't take his eyes off of her. This is why the script warns us about not to gaze at the beauty of a woman. Ain't nothing wrong with looking at a beautiful woman, but when you gaze and you get hypnotized, and your mouth be just agape, and somebody walk over and do your mouth like this, close your mouth.
That boy lusting.
Right. So you're out. That right there will make you victim to anything. She'll tell you, I worship the devil.
So?
I'm going forward. That's what happened to Solomon. Right. Then they become strange wives because they told you at the beginning, I worship the devil. You're like, hey, The way you look, I couldn't care what you worship.
Or,
And then you got a covenant in your shorts. It's called circumcision. Where we at?
verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren.
Right?
Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
Right?
O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they digged down a wall.
So in the book of Jubilees, it was already ordered that anybody that take a daughter of Israel, and what this is talking about, Levi and Simeon killed Shechem the Hamite.
Shechemites.
Because they took Dinah, Jacob's only daughter, and he basically forced her. But he said, I want to marry her. But the way he did it, he forced her. He was in essence keeping a law, but it was the way he did it. And Jacob said, okay, you can do that, because if a man take a virgin and have her without the wedding process first, he got to marry her and he couldn't divorce her for life. This is where we get the old term, a shotgun wedding. The daddy come with a shotgun. He don't know, nigga, you gonna marry her. You gonna marry her. So this is where that comes from. So a virgin that would happen to, because you ruined her for every other possibility that a man would have treated with her for a wife for life. So what Reuben and Simeon did, they thought about that. They said, we're going to kill her. Simeon and Levi, but Jacob had already made a covenant with the kings of Ham. He said, if y'all, every one of y'all get circumcised, then y'all can come into our fold. So this is another example of accepting of strange nations outside of the covenant, starting at the beginning of our tribe. So anybody try to say this, they came in, but the law in the book of Jubilees also said, Joshua, that Shechem was going to have to pay a price anyway. But what happened is the devil got in there, because Shechem's granddaddy was the one who opposed Abraham in the beginning. So he had to be put down for about what his grandfather had did earlier when we started reading in the scriptures. So this thing was more tied up until they just killed some Hamites. Right. This was a punishment that was coming down. They jumped the gun, and their father had made them sworn oath on the covenant of circumcision, and they didn't tell them. They didn't jump the gun. They didn't say, Daddy, look, we understand what you're doing. They let their father do it and say, yeah, I understand what Daddy did, but we killing them Hamites later on. So, and that's using the law deceitfully, like we read it in the opening Psalm 44, to use the law deceitfully. They know what it means about to swear an oath and you can't never take it back. The script tells us, if you swear, you have to keep it. Even the law of this land saying, if you swear, we will give you perjury charges. If you say, let your yea be yea, or your nay be nay, or you say, I affirm, then that leaves room for, oh, I didn't know about that. That gives you a way out. You're not charged with perjury. But you don't want to fall into the perjury charges of the law. So that's what happened with Levi and Simeon. So we see what Reuben did. Reuben went into his father's bed, or he became in Israel an MF. Literally. A mother for unlawful carnal knowledge. That's why FUCK is always in capital letters. He became, and we use that term like it's something to be just proud of. You black MF. You ugly MF. You a bad MF. But that's why it's called a curse. Curse be the man that's sleeping with his father's wife, or uncover his father's nakedness. Yeah. That's your father's nakedness. You can't uncover that. So Ham did it to Noah. Reuben firstborn did it to, Jacob's firstborn Reuben did it to him. He could never sleep with Bilhah again ever. Absalom did it to David. All his 10 concubines had to live as widows after that, because David couldn't touch them no more. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Hey, y'all write down Leviticus 18. That's the law. Leviticus 18 verses 6 through 7. Leviticus 18 verses 6 through 7. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him, right, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. the nakedness of your father,
Right.
or the nakedness of thy mother, shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother.
Right.
Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
Right.
The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness.
I'm going to put up a couple more. I can't remember how to spell Habakkuk, but these are other ones right here where they say, "Cursed be the man." And also 1 Corinthians 5. Is that right?
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 5 in New Testament says the same thing. So all of these that we just typed up there deal with uncovering your father's nakedness and what that really means. And there was a curse. See, y'all have to understand what curse words came from. It'd be, he's cursed. He slept with his father's wife. So that in turn, we made up a word for it, a mother for unlawful pornography.
But the E
Right.
One who
Right, and then like even in Jubilees, the book of Jubilees, 14th chapter, it says that what Lot did and his daughters was the greatest sin on earth at that time up until after, for her daughter to sleep with the father. Now early on when when there's no sin in the world, brothers and sisters could get together. This is who Enoch knew when he went to the land of Nod. It was his twin, Cain, it was his twin sister, thank you, bro. It was his twin sister. Both of them was born with twin, because remember the curse that Eve got was multiple conceptions. Like conceptions should be multiplied. So she was twinning on a regular basis. Almost every child she had was a twin. So that's how we populated. How you think the world got to where it was and there's only 8 got off the ark? So y'all, we need to understand that. But as the world grows, sin start getting in and the blood start getting more tainted. So now you have to be 3 cousins out to even come close. Or you will have a waterhead baby.
This dude here.
Right.
So it wasn't no casual sex back then.
Oh, no.
Then somebody went inside somebody's daughter or woman, then nobody else dealt with it.
No, because you have to understand the level of virginity. That's why.
Not a virgin.
Right, and that's why when Paul talked about it, he said, I want to present you as a chaste virgin to Christ. But if Satan keep creeping in and tampering and seducing your mind with other doctrine, now you got a whore's forehead. You can't be presented spotless and blameless. He can't present you as a virgin bride to Christ and you dealing with harlots.
Right.
You look a bit of adultery did it. That's what he did. That was a major double up.
Cover his father's neck.
Double up. What we at?
Verse 7.
Okay.
Cursed be their anger.
What it be?
Cursed be their anger.
See, cursed be their anger. You know why? Because they took that anger into the next day. They thought about it, they slept on it, and they didn't change their mind. So now that anger is cursed. That's why Christ said, you can be angry, but sin not. You angry and sin, that's a major problem. A curse gonna come on you. Go ahead, where we at?
For it was cruel.
What it was what?
It was cruel.
Look, they could have got them before the circumcision if they was about their business. They could have stopped them from getting the oath. But they waited till these was grown men getting cut. I mean, everybody was walking like Festus and sore. The script say they were sore and their feet was up in the air. You laying in the bed, they come in with swords. What you gonna do? That part's tender. You can't even go to the bathroom without struggling and walking wide legs. And they bust in with swords. So that was the cruelty, And I'm a witness because we didn't get to, we were 12.
Oh, man. That's true, man.
12. He had to walk with a cane. So y'all just now you think about Abraham in 99 when he got it. Getting cut on like that, so that tells you that his faith was strong. He had 98 years of strong faith before he was even circumcised. In the flesh. Because his heart was circumcised. Where we at?
Verse 7. Read that again. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce. And their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
See, and that's why we may have some Levites spread among us, or some Simeonites spread amongst us. He said, I will divide because their wrath was so cruel what they did. Y'all have to understand when the Most High say, look, you should reserve that for righteous killing. That's why we have to understand when he say, I'm bringing back my saints with me to put these nations down, they won't have this mindset. Or you can't have the mindset that you got now. You want to kill a white police because he pulled you over about bad stickers. You're going to be cruel and your wrath ain't going to be measured right. Because you're going to break the law in your wrath. He knew I was going to that concert. I was dressed up. I was late on the way then. So you speed, they ain't got bad stickers. But I'm a killer as soon as Christ come back. No, you ain't. Because you got to have perfect hatred that David spoke about in 139 Psalm. Perfect hatred. And that means, and they say, I hate them that hate thee. These people have to hate your God. Yeah. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 8. Judah.
Who?
Judah.
Right.
Thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Thou art he whom thy brethren, the other 11 tribes, will praise. That don't mean they're going to worship him. They're going to say, the covenant is coming through you. Genesis 3:16, that the set everything back in order is coming through y'all, man, through y'all tribe. The Messiah is coming through y'all tribe. Y'all are to be praised because now all the other 11 tribes need to be making sure Judah don't fall off. So that Christ, the prophecies of Christ, be where they need to be. Where we at?
Verse 8. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemy. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp.
Right.
From the prey, my son.
Right.
Thou art gone up. He stood down. He couched.
Stooped down.
He stooped down.
Right.
He couched as a lion.
Right.
And as an old lion who shall rouse him up.
So he's just saying as a young lion of the lion. As a young lion who stooped down ready to attack. You know how a lion be like this? You have to make one more move. And an old lion, he just sitting there yawning. But who gonna rouse him up? Who gonna go and say, old lion, you ain't got it no more? No, this ain't the cowardly lion on the Wizard of Oz. No, we're talking about the Lion of Judah. So we want to get that straight as well. Go ahead, bro, read some more.
Verse 10. The scepter shall not depart.
The what?
The scepter shall not depart.
And that's what the law is passed forth like he gave it to Reuben. And Reuben lost and Simeon and Levi lost. Now the scepter goes into the hand of Judah. Go ahead.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet unto Shiloh.
Until who comes?
Shiloh.
Who is Shiloh? That's the question. Who is Shiloh? We got some definitions on that?
Shiloh, 87886. He whose it is. He whose it is, that which belongs to him. Tranquility. And it comes from the origin. Shalah, which means to be at rest, prosper, be quiet, be at ease.
So we see now that the scepter won't depart till Judah passes out to his rightful heir. It can't go back to none of the other tribes. It can't go to no other man. It has to come to Shiloh come. And he will be the restorer of peace in the earth. And when you restore peace, sometimes you have to put things down to get peace. You have to quell chaos. You have to shut chaos down. We can hold that is for Judah. Okay, go ahead.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
And to him should what?
The gathering of the people be.
So we see again this gathering of the people when Shiloh comes. Not the rapture of the people, but the gathering again. Go ahead.
Binding his foal unto the vine.
Right.
And his ass coat unto the choice vine.
Right.
He washed his garments in wine. And his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Y'all, that's more when you get into what is Isaiah 60?
63.
63, you'll understand exactly what that means. Where we at?
Verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine.
Right.
And his teeth white with milk.
And so when his eyes are red with wine, Christ, they called him a wine bibber. He drank wine on a daily basis, but you never saw him drunk. Never. Wine was good for infirmity. It was
Make your heart merry.
Mary, and it was for, and in the book of Sirach, I go into deep detail how to drink wine. You know, moderately. And when we get into the 12 patriarchs, Judah is going to tell you about how to drink wine moderately. So we know it ain't him. Judah had a problem with wine and women. And if you think that ain't today, you fooling yourself. That's Judah.
Hey, y'all write these precepts down about Shiloh. Because it said, unto him shall be the gathering of the people. Write down 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. And also Matthew 24, 29 to 30. 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 and 2. And then Matthew 24, 29 to 32. Who's going to gather the people? That would be Shiloh. Meaning Christ, the Messiah. 29 to 32.
And y'all, so far, y'all, like I say, y'all, this is Bible class. Anything flying over y'all head that sounds strange, raise your hand up. And we'll explain this, look, because if you doing like this, you can't tell nobody nothing like this. Because that's the way you're going to explain it to them. You know, they were saying something. And you just looking at it like this. What church tomorrow? Go iron your church clothes. You sitting up here like this. No, you got to be, if it's flying over, you got to explain it so that they can understand it. Or just go back to the Sunday doctrine where you have that same look every Sunday. Because when people ask that preacher, show preacher day, what did preacher about? You know what? I don't even know. So you can't transfer, come out of that, come into this, and then you got the same mindset. What I'm saying. Where we at? That's it? Okay. What you got, bro?
It says, unto Shiloh come.
Right.
Then it says, unto him shall the gathering of the people.
Absolutely. See, so he's going to gather all of the nations. Which one of these false messiahs gathered all 12 tribes? That's all we ask. When did they do it? Solomon didn't gather them because they were already there.
Right.
Y'all write down Revelation 19 about the blood on the garment. You know what I'm talking about?
That's right.
The garment shall be red with wine. Revelation 19, where we was at. We just ain't keep reading. 10 through 16.
Isaiah 63 is right.
Isaiah 63, 1 through 5. Revelation 19.
Deuteronomy 33, y'all. And these, y'all, like I say, we're dealing with Judah, so you understand when we say that we are the tribe of Judah based off of prophecy. Not because we were looking through, Shalom, bro. Not because we was looking through it. Oh, I like Judah. Who you gonna be? So go 33 and 1, and then we'll just skip down to verse 4 and read through 7. We're going to read 1 and we're going to skip down to 4. I mean, we're going to read 1 through, no, we're just going to read verse 1 and we're going to skip down to 4. All right, everybody there? Deuteronomy 33, verse 1. 33 verse 1. And this is the blessing. Hold on, everybody there. How we looking, y'all? My bad, y'all.
Shit, bro, you speak King's English, man.
Right. Y'all see that? If we were stuck on linguistics, boy, we already be like, you calling on Beelzebub sounding like that. Right, so y'all, we understand that we have different dialects.
Absolutely.
But when Brooke taught us class a couple weeks ago, actually last week, you know, on when you're judged, the Most High is going to judge you out of the language that you spoke. So it'll be clear to you. He spoke to Paul in Hebrew because Paul spoke pure Hebrew.
Well, we should say as pure as he could have been at the time. So he spoke to Paul in that language. Even though Paul was bilingual, knew Greek, knew, what's the other one? What the one they said Messiah spoke a lot? Aramaic. Paul was fluent in all of those languages. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 1. Deuteronomy 33, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death.
So we see, y'all, these deathbed blessings. Y'all, this is how things should go. If we follow the law like we're supposed to, and when we break the law, repent so we keep the law and turn away from it, then the blessing is when you know the prophecies are another 400 or 500 years before completion comes into play. You can put your feet up on your bed with your children around you and tell them, I'm going on and take the dirt down. But this, y'all, watch out for these things because this is what's going to happen. Y'all got to look out for these things. This is what's going down. Y'all, but now it's so chaotic that parents are burying their children at a rapid rate. I'm talking about I ain't never seen no many R.I.P. Little Johnny, Little Willie in my life. One lady that do the t-shirt say she going out of business because she ain't doing family reunion t-shirts no more. All of them are ripped shirts. And they start jockeying for the best shirt now of somebody dead. We out of the Father giving the blessings now. Y'all, that's a bad thing, y'all, when we at this level like this. But we was warned about it. Go ahead, but read some more.
Read. Jump to verse 4.
Yeah, jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4. Moses commanded us a law.
What did he command us?
Us a law. Even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob.
See, when you command something, that's not a suggestion. It didn't say Moses suggested us a law. Or Moses gave us an opinion, an opinion of the law. Moses commanded what he was commanded. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5. And he was king in Jeshurun when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his man be few.
See, why do you think that comes back into play? Look, because he lost the birthright don't mean he lose his inheritance, so to speak. He still got a land prophecy that must be fulfilled.
Right.
See, and y'all, and that's when you read, so you don't get mixed up with when you get into the Ezekiel, the last chapters, the 44 through the last chapters, when it starts to lay out land, the blessings of the land. That's talking about land prophecy. Look, when we got off the ark, the table of nations, Genesis 10, establishes the land prophecies. Then when the 12 tribes came in, that started establishing the covenant of the people for these land prophecies. If you get the two mixed up, then you're going to make Japheth Esau. And you're going to be way off base. Because Esau conquered Japheth's land. That's why, well, that's anybody ever seen an Eskimo lady? The Aborigines used to be, y'all know what they used to look like? So if you get that mixed up, you're going to take the prophecies of Japheth that is talking about the land mass that cannot change according to the law. Leviticus, what, 19:17? You should not remove a man's landmark. That's why it's called the land of Canaan until Christ changes it. Yeah, it's called Jerusalem, but he still gives it that name because there's Canaanites still in that land. When he set Jerusalem down, he said, then there should be no more Canaanites in the land. Let's get some more. Where we at? Verse 7. Who got a question?
Ezekiel what?
44th chapter all the way to the end talks about land prophecies and the inheritance that each tribe will receive. You know, to Dan, this amount of lots. This how much land you get. And see, like a lot of us think it's just Jerusalem, but like bro explained last week, our land stretched all the way to the borders of Iraq, over Jordan, over toward the Nile River. All of that is part of the land. So it's just not how they cramped up in Jerusalem right now and walking over each other. No, we had all of that land.
To the Euphrates.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah.
It is the blessing of who?
Of Judah. And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be significant for him, sufficient for him, and be thou a help to him for his enemies.
From his enemies.
From his enemies.
And y'all see that this is why y'all we've been, and we're going to get to some more scriptures that lay it out even more plain, that he knew Judah was going to have a problem in the hands of his enemies. Now all the other 12 tribes, other 11 tribes, they're not getting away from Deuteronomy 28. But when we're talking about that hard bondage where they wear Judah out and make Judah work for them in their merchandise, and when them yokes of iron and children sold, these things are taking place in this land. And we're going to get to some parts of where Judah, the whole household, left out. And prophecy is going to tell us who we are, not because we dark-skinned. A lot of dark-skinned nations. All of the laws of Leviticus that tell us, be not like these, guess what color those nations were?
Dark-skinned.
Black, dark-skinned, or who we would call black, Canaanites, Hittites. And them laws still apply to today. They don't say the sins of the Edomites. They're taking on the sins of the Canaanites. The dark-skinned nation is the ones who cause all the problem. The bestiality and
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah
was incinerated. It wasn't the Israelite in there. Or Edomite. They wasn't even right.
That's right.
Those was Africans.
Straight up.
Africans are y'all love.
That's right.
You knew it as a child too. I ain't the African booty scratcher. Like you know it in your conscience. That's not you. Right. But Sodom and Gomorrah was not Greek folk. Those was Africans.
Right.
Those were the first on record sodomites on the planet. They was Africans. The white man wasn't even born yet.
Right.
If you don't slow down and read that, boy, you'll miss that whole fact right there. I'm telling you.
He wasn't even born yet. It's just the who you call the white man is taking he has jacked every culture on the planet.
That's right.
The wicked Africans, including yours.
Right.
Now he's the last prince of Persia, the last Mohican, and everything. And because he's running the earth. That's why.
That's
all he's doing is dealing with the same ancient knowledge, whether it's wicked, you feel me, or righteous.
That's right.
But he got it from, he's not an originator of nothing. He got it from dark-skinned people.
That's right.
Your boy, Nimrod. Yeah. But he was a Cushite, Ethiopian.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why they started on this side of the flood. He was the first rebel on that side of the flood going against the Lord.
That's right.
Ethiopian.
Go ahead, yeah. That's a very good point, y'all. So y'all understand this, y'all. Just so y'all understand we're not talking a color thing. Because the first thing when you say you Israel, they're going to attach it to color and not to spirit. They're attacking you with flesh color versus spirit. It's inside then out. Right. Let's get some more. Where we at? Verse 8. Well, that's good right there because we're jumping into Levi. So we got an understanding of Judah's last day blessing, what would happen to him. And what I want to do now is when Judah was born. So I leapfrog for a second. I leapfrog up into the blessings. Now we need to get to the root of when this leader of this tribe came on board. So I'm going to Genesis 29. We're going to move through, y'all. We're going to get a good understanding so that you'll be convinced in your mind. And you know, things are prophesied in part and we understand in part. Meaning the Lord ain't going to give you everything in one breath. Right. Because you'll do what everybody else say I done read the Bible and it's up on their shelf. It's with their other books. Like this book is equal to, or them other books is equal to this. You got this book up here, T.D. Jakes, How to Hustle the Flock, Cash for Dollars, I'm Still Stealing Money, and you got nothing up in there. Right. And like you say, you can name it that they'll still buy it. But you got whatever.
Yeah, I got a question. So they say they're black, African race is, the superior race, and we were the first people here. Why do they say that the Indians were here before America? That's like, this is the Indian land.
It is.
It is. We're going to hit some scripture concerning that in the Apocrypha, in the book of Esther. We're going to hit that in the 13th chapter. We're going to get into that, and you're going to see where they were here, and there were Hebrew writings before Columbus and ever got here. It's archaeology with Hebrew writing that predates them by hundreds of years. So we're gonna answer that question for you, everything from the scripture though. So, but black power, Zed, give it at hand. So we understand that's the Zondervan Pictorial Dictionary. On the back of it, when you read it, almost every denomination on earth uses it as the Bible dictionary, so to speak. But this is the definition of Ham, or who they say all the black people came from, or the superior race. And not only that, if they say the superior race started in Egypt, then Egypt would be the first man there. Right. Everything started there. So they're going to be backpedaling about the nations that they know that archaeology is there, that people existed before Egypt was formed. You know, so they have to do their work. We don't. All I just asked was a simple question. Was it before Adam? When they start scratching, you know they ain't got an answer. Just leave them with that thought. But go ahead and read that for me, bro.
Ham out of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood.
Right.
And one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark race.
The progenitor meaning the father of the dark race.
Not the Negro.
Not the who?
Not the Negro.
So contrary to a belief, there's only one dark-skinned people called Negro on this earth. Yeah, that's right. Only one group of people called Negro. It said he became the father of all the dark races, but not the Negro. Go ahead and read some up.
But the Egyptians.
But the who?
Egyptians, Ethiopians,
right?
Libyans, and Canaanites.
So those are Hamites, but not the so-called Negro. And see, Negro is a byword for us. We become bywords in Proverbs. That he opened in Psalm, that he read Psalm 44. We became bywords and Proverbs. Those are names to go by. Every year it changed. Negroes, colors, spiritualists, Africans, Afro-American, named after hairstyle. You know, and then mixture of nation, African-American. So all other nations add. So what is y'all now? 10 years has passed. You guys got a new name now, don't you? What do you call yourself?
American Africans now.
Look, even when you're filling out applications, why is it to the point, black but not, you know, this person? You have to, okay, that's me right there, check. They tell you who they want to be, but ain't nothing on there Hebrew Israelite. Now you can select other, but then you take a chance on when you get in there. We want to talk to you about the other. So how do we need to call you? But the first thing they're going to tie you to the rogue Israelites. Or you coming to push in a doctrine to kill all white folks here, around here. That's what we want to understand when you select it. You have to be wise as a serpent in these matters, you know. Because it's just like if your children go to class and they say Columbus discovered America, we have to teach them, just mark that, and you know he did. It was people here before. But you can't tell, you go in there, when you see that question, scratch it out and say, there was Hebrew writings here. They're going to get an F.
That's not the answer.
Right. That's not the answer to that test. So they're going to get an F, and then they're going to put them in the short bus class. And then the next time, they're going to put them on medicine, and the next time they're going to be licking the windows. Oh, yeah. So y'all, we have to be wise, y'all, because look, the tests are set up for failure. When you used to take the hour basic skill, I don't know if they still do it, but I'm class of 79, so that's been a while. But it's they had what y'all say? But they had cup, salsa, table. Which one go together? We pick cup and table because that's what I want. Get that damn Kool-Aid and get to the table and drink. Don't waste nothing on the floor. So we use the cup and table. But when you're born in affluent, there's cups and saucers. So they select them two. And you wonder, why is that wrong? You know, all cups on the table. We got all different kind of cups, plastic cups, all type of cups. We recycle and them go straight to the table. Ain't no sauce under the bottom. So they designed, the test is designed for you to fail because of the culture you live in. Let's get some more. Where we at?
We in Genesis. You said 29, right?
Yeah, 29 verse 35. We start at it, we need to back it up if we need to. But we're going to show about when Jacob was born. Judah, I'm sorry.
I'm glad your mind is sharp today.
Around 29.
Yeah.
Genesis
Start where?
29.
Okay.
Genesis 29, verse 29. Everybody there? 29. Alright. And Levi gave to Rachel, his daughter, Bilhah, and handmaid, to be her maid. And he went in also to Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years.
So what we're talking about here is Laban gave each one of his, Laban had 2 daughters, Leah and Rachel. Some documents in the Lost Book that talk about Leah and Rachel were twins, just like Jacob and Esau, and they was to marry them too. Because Esau, he displeased his father and his mother and went and married Canaanite women. So if that displeased his parents, who was he supposed to marry that would have pleased him? It's a question we have to ask ourselves, but we ain't gonna get into that. But Leah and Rachel were twins as well, and Laban was our kindred. You know, so we want to marry outside nature, marry out of our bloodline. Okay, where we at?
Verse 31. When the Lord saw that Leah was hated,
Then he saw Leah was what?
hated, he opened her womb,
Right.
but Rachel was barren.
So the Lord saw that Leah was hated. Jacob never hated Leah. He hated that Leah and Rachel got switched at the wedding, at the ceremony.
He got tricked in the middle.
He got tricked into marrying her because their custom was we don't marry off the firstborn before the secondborn before the firstborn. Thanks. We don't do that. So even though I made an agreement with you that you're gonna work for Rachel for 7 years and you're gonna marry her, well, she was the baby girl. She was they were twins and she was the second birth, like Esau and Jacob. Esau is still the elder. And Jacob is the younger, just like Leah was the elder and Rachel was the younger. So he wanted Rachel, and he said, no, you get Leah, but he tricked her. But this is Jacob's payback for tricking Isaac, that he was Esau.
Right.
This is the Lord deals back to you right in your face. Because Jacob and his mother schemed and put goat hair on their arms.
Goat her, huh?
Not sheep hair, because sheep hair is woolly. And that kind of identified Esau and Will because goat hair is fine hair. So if he'd have felt it and it felt like Pam on Martin, the Beady Beads, or Radio Sanford and Son, he'd have knew. He's like, no, you Jacob. Go ahead, read some more.
Verse 32. And Leah conceived.
And Leah did what?
Conceived.
Right.
And bare a son. And she called his name Ruth.
So the firstborn of Jacob came from Leah, that first wife. But it said Leah was hated. And this is a hate they're talking about. When the Most High used the word hate, he means love to love less. He said if you don't hate your mother or your father, he don't mean that hate that we got down here on the block. That's player hate we got. We hate to the bone, want somebody to die. The Most High hate means to love less. If you don't love your mother, your brother, your children less than me, you can't be my disciple. Because you're going to worship them as God. And this is where mother and son worship come in. This is when you hear somebody say, my mama, my daddy, my children can't do no wrong. Oh, yes, they can. The only way you saying that, you don't know what the commandments are. So this is the love. Whenever you see the Most High use the word hate, is love less. When he said Esau, I have hated. I love Esau less. When you get into the Jubilees and the books of Jasher, you see that Abraham loved Jacob as well. And he said, but I know Isaac loved Esau. Let's read some more.
Verse 32. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben.
Right.
For she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me.
And see, Jacob loved Rachel so much that he just wasn't showing his attention to Leah. You know, and you get them one because it said Leah had talked about her eyes. Some try to say when she was lazy-eyed or cock-eyed, you know, like she looking like this. You know, no, I don't mean that. Because you get in the book of Jasher, said they were twins, and it said both of them had outstanding bodily forms. But Rachel's eyes were more sparkling, you know, and the eyes caught Jacob's attention. Leah was beautiful too. It said she was a beautiful form too, but Rachel's eyes were more sparkling.
Brothers, you ever seen some twins before? You know, you like one more than the other.
Right, right. It ain't nothing new under the sun, bro. It's about the eyes. That's what capture you.
Then, and it's the same conversation today. If I get pregnant, maybe he'll love me.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Same thing, and this what happens a lot of times. You know, if I get pregnant by him, he'll love me. Let's get it, y'all.
Verse 33. And she conceived again.
And she did what?
Conceived again.
Y'all see how this multiple conception keep happening within the tribes of Israel? Look, we were 70 souls and went into Egypt, and we came out over 2 million in a 400-year time span.
Hey, it ain't too much hate, but she steady conceiving.
Right. So you know it ain't that player hate behavior. Because on the other side of midnight, we love it. Right. We get tribes coming out. So we know it ain't, the Lord knew it wasn't that type of hate. He just said Leah's just being a little less, you know. He bringing her flowers, 2 dozen, and give her 2 or 3. Here's one for you. And that here's a problem. And the number one problem was because the law said you can't marry sisters. Because you'll vex them, and then there's going to be problems within their family. Because sisters warn, now they, mother and father have to deal with them warned by one man. So in his trickery and trick, Isaac, all of this came upon him. It forced him to marry 2 sisters. Because he could have, at that point, he had a choice to let Rachel alone. But he ended up marrying 2 sisters anyway, which brought that drama on it, and you vexed the parents. Go ahead. 33.
And she conceived again. Again. And bare a son. And said, because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son. Also, and she called his name Simeon. 34. And she conceived again. Bare a son.
Now, how much hate is Jacob doing? It's clear that this hate ain't, I can't stand that daughter too. We know it ain't that. Where we at?
And said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons.
So now it's just like Sis just said. She said, I got 3 of his children. I know he's going to have to come home now. Because she know the rules. He can't let these sons grow up wild men. He going to have to be around them to raise these sons. And I got 3 of them. You know
Therefore was his name called Levi.
Right.
And she conceived again. And bare a son.
Look. And how do y'all think this conception is taking place? Go ahead.
And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now will I praise the Lord.
Now will she do what?
Praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah.
That's what Judah means. Praise
the Lord. So now you get it back to Genesis. Right? And that's where it comes from. Praise the Lord. She said, I'm going to praise the Lord now, because not only have he just did this to me, he truly lets me know. Because look, she know in her heart Jacob loves her, or he wouldn't be there putting them sons down like that. It's just the fact that it's that rival jealousy. It's what Hagar and Sarah had. It was right there, y'all, when one getting pregnant. And you think about this, when he loved this one so much, but she can't get pregnant. And as y'all read on, we're going to skip to the next verse. You'll see what Rachel got so fired up, she questioned Jacob. She started questioning his veracity. Well, like, look, it was saying when Moses died, it said his strength was not abated. That means Moses was 120 years old and he could still have children. So she was starting to question Jacob on that. Jacob was like, hey, look, do you need to go see Leah and her children? It ain't me. What you think, I'm God, I can just make you have children? It's not me, it's you, woman. You got to go to the Lord. You are barren. And that's hard for some women to understand. And it's hard because they're reading, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to get married and have children and be this mother and this. But I'm cut off at the beginning of this. Sometimes the Most High do things so that you trust in him. He do things to make sure you trust him. And we see that Leah being hated after the fourth Sunday, she said, I'm going to praise the Lord now because I know he with me. He with me. He gave me all of the first 4 sons first. He gave them to me. And not Rachel. Let's read some more. Oh, we do with that. Go ahead.
You want to go into this chapter 30?
30?
Let's read about like 1 through 6.
Okay, let's read 1 through 30 then.
1 through 6. 1 through 16. So. We'll talk about this.
You gotta go down to 7, 19.
Yeah, let's read on down. Beautiful.
What's up? Let's get it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 30, verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she was barren, bare Jacob no children.
Right.
Rachel envied her sister.
What did she do?
Envied her sister.
Y'all, and we have what we call black-hearted jealousy is envy. You know, that's to the point that what she's trying to figure out, as beautiful as I am, and I know he loved me more, he don't look at her like he look at me. Why did she get to have children? That's a question that she's asking within herself. Read some.
Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die.
You know, now y'all think about that in the other terms, what was being said up in the text. How she was saying that to him. You spend all your energy and time over there, that's why you ain't got nothing left for me but dog water. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, am I in God's stead?
What did he say?
Am I in God's stead?
Right.
Who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
So at that point, Jacob let her know, I ain't the Lord. Look, now, I got children, so it ain't me, it's you. So she thinking, man, it is me. Well, I got my handmaid Bilhah that my father gave with me when Jacob left with all his when he left with me and all of our children. She came with me, Bilhah. So he said, go into my handmaid, and then she can sit upon my knees and I'll have children by her. Sitting upon the knees was what we call today surrogate, a surrogate mother. Right. When it was time for the birth, Rachel sat down like this, and Bilhah sat on her lap. And while she gave birth, she was sitting on her lap, and when the child came out, it was like it was Rachel's then. So that's what that means. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
So she said, take the maid.
Yeah.
Say, I can't have children.
Right.
Take my maid and go into her.
Right.
And I'll have children through her.
Right. And you see, that was no secret. So it wasn't like she could point and say, you creeping around with Bilhah? No, it was wide open and natural. What most people don't understand, polygamy was no secret.
Yeah.
Trip off got secrets. Right, and trip off the mindset. Right, what she knew about
you better adopt.
Right.
You just out of luck.
Right.
You just won't be having them.
Right. So, and that's what the mindset would be today, but in understanding our culture then, she knew that her handmaid could be her surrogate, and the child would really be transferred all of the rights to her. Really. Bilhah is her pretty much slave, her servant, or her servant. So that child, because she's allowing this to happen, she's allowing him to be wife, but still, that child, none of what Jacob's responsibility is to Rachel can diminish from Bilhah. Bilhah still has to be treated as equal with the wife. Whatever he get her 2 does, he still got to get Bilhah 2 does. Lilies, I should say, not roses, but roses of the thorn bush. When we understand what true rose of Sharon was, it was a lily. Well, it's the deal of how we portray it. If we portray it at this point, you become a Hebrew player. A Hebrew player is a difference from a legal polygamist following the laws of the Most High. A Hebrew player, all you did is switch your game from what you used to be in the streets. And you saw something and then you're like, shit, I can have gas like that, I can't nobody. Right. You can if it ain't no secrets.
Right. Tiptoe.
You can't be a secret polygamist.
Tiptoe.
What you sneaking for?
Tiptoe in the tools.
You got what the man doing.
Turn the phone down.
Right. Can't be none of that.
I call you when I get the call.
Right. None of that. Well, revealing some things like that out there on film. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, edit that, bro.
We ain't, and just like we acknowledge these things, we are not unwise to the process of what's going on.
Absolutely.
You have to understand in polygamy, 1 + 1 + 1 = 1, because you have to be all on the same mindset. You couldn't do this, and like I say, the most thing is, why I'm saying a Hebrew player, I'm gonna move on, is because when you was a player, you bragged about how the woman took care of you. Yeah, dog. Bertha over there bought these games. Right. Gladys over there bought that Monte Carlo. You see, you're talking about how women take care of you. So when you come into the polygamy and you got all your women working and you sitting at home like this, all you have become is a Hebrew player.
Tell them about Peter Moses.
Oh, Peter Moses, boy that's in jail now, had 6 wives and had one of them killed the one son that wasn't his because he thought he was playing with the other boys. He thought he made a homosexual move. So he shot the 5-year-old baby in the head while playing the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. And then buried the bodies in his mother's backyard. Y'all can Google Peter Moses, and this is an Israelite that knows he's an Israelite. So that's why we have to be careful before you just let this fly off your tongue, because that's the first thing they remember on the news about Israelites. Peter Moses. You one of them? Girl? You know about them? You know, and now their minds is turning. So if you present yourself with the law, you don't have to talk about your outer cup. Let them see your inner cup. And then they say, well, I heard about that Peter Moses, but he ain't like that. Right. I'd have been around for 20 years. Ain't none of that dwelling in him. And then ratted out his mom and them in court. Now how you gonna do that? His mama, they caught us. Everybody going to jail now. Says Peter Moses. Peter Moses.
Google that Negro.
Yeah. Y'all, and this is what that brings when you bring in it from that perspective. Y'all have to understand, like Moses allowed men to divorce their wives for every cause. Moses allowed that because the Most High gave him authority for that. He allowed polygamy because of war of the nations going through the wilderness. We're going to have a lot of men dropping off. We're going to get a lot of single women. And to keep whoredom and harlotry from running rampantly, polygamy was allowed. But in the beginning, it was one-on-one. You know, because think about this. In the kingdom, if you die before Christ come back, all your, whoever it was, y'all will be sisters and brothers. Right. That's it. Y'all gonna forget about y'all was married on this side. Y'all gonna be sisters and brothers.
What about if you live?
If you're living, 1 Corinthians 15:51, Isaiah 4th chapter, you're going to have to repopulate Israel in righteousness, in the kingdom, in righteousness like Adam and Eve were supposed to do. But they failed. 7 wives. But that's going to make sure we repopulate, because the word of the Lord cannot go void. But he said, in that day, Not in this day.
You say not in the,
Because it's going to be chaos in this day.
you say not in that iceberg swim.
Look, and look, they was born right here. And we knew the culture. What do you think it's going to be right now? Boy, it's going to be hell. Look, you think you already, and I told her I wish she would. Look, I want to hang out with my boys. I can do that. I'm the man of this house. I'll pay the bills. Hold on, here she come. I call you back.
You ain't talking record.
He's under the boys. You're talking big today.
Right. Where we at? Right. Where we at?
Book of Genesis chapter 30, verse 4.
Yeah.
And she gave him Bilhah,
Right.
her handmaid, to wife.
To what?
To wife.
Y'all see the difference in this word?
To what?
No, the word is to wife.
Wife.
Not to wife, but to wife. As a responsibility that he has to fulfill.
So when the men teach that was his sex slave, that's
Right. That's false. That was his wife. That's Exodus.
But it's men that teach that.
That's right.
So that those, like he had sex slaves. He just did whatever he wanted. When he told him to pick a rag.
That ain't never been in Israel.
No.
That's what Satan told in the garden. That makes sure it was a chaste virgin. Bilhah was a chaste virgin at this point.
Exactly. That's another good one.
Go ahead. Where we at?
And Jacob went in unto her.
What'd he do?
And Jacob went in unto her.
Uh-huh.
And Bilhah conceived, and bare Jacob a son.
Right.
And Rachel said, Yahweh hath judged me.
What have you done?
Judged me.
Uh-huh.
And have also heard my voice, and have given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
So when Reuben lost the birthright, he went into this wife of Jacob, and he actually was dating his little brother's mother. So if he would have messed around and had a child by her, what he gonna call his brother? Well, Uncle Brother. Hey, Uncle Brother. That's confusion in Israel, ain't it? Y'all want me to say that? Y'all want to go down to the man's report? Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Verse 16. We'll go down to verse 16, y'all.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again.
What she do?
Conceived again.
Uh-huh.
And bare Jacob a second son.
Right.
And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali.
So now she's got another son by her handmaid, by Bilhah. So Bilhah's sons right now are Dan and Naphtali. Go ahead.
When Leah saw that she had left burned, she took Zilpah her maid and gave her Jacob to wife.
So Leah got to the point that where she wasn't having no more children. So she she gave her handmaid Zilpah. Today is your lucky day. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son.
Right.
And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad.
A troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. So she understood these things, and like you say, but the mindset today, most women probably said they couldn't have been me.
I wish you would.
Couldn't have been me. No, it couldn't have been you in this mindset. We're not expecting it to be you in this mindset. So if we bring it to you, we got to expect everything that could come with couldn't have been me.
Here comes the
You got to expect that ain't coming. You think it ain't coming?
Here comes that neck.
It's coming. Because you asked for it. You know what the mindset was on this? It said, treat them according to knowledge. If they got a Babylonian mindset, ain't no need you bringing that knowledge to them about that. Unless they accept that knowledge and understand what it is. They're not understanding from your perspective. They understanding that it's the commandments of the Most High. And I'm submitting to that before I'm submitting to you, man. If they don't understand that, can't bring them that knowledge. You fooling and you spinning your wheels in the mud. It's just gonna be contention and anger every day you come home. And then where you think the man cave come from? Where you think Solomon write about it's better for a man to dwell in the wilderness than to be in the house with a mad woman every day?
Yeah, loud.
Y'all think man cave is just some new idea from Home Depot? It was the getaway spot. Go ahead. Yeah. Where we at?
Look at Genesis chapter 30, verse 13. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher.
Look, but see, Leah had a different mindset. She like, look, the daughter's going to say, I'm blessed. I'm handling all of Jacob's children. Not only this, but my handmaids. They going to call me blessed. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest.
Right.
And found mandrakes in the field.
So mandrake, another term for that is called mayapple. You got it right there? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's in the Concordance 8:1736 and Dudai, and it says mandrake, love apple.
Love what?
Love apple. As exciting sexual desire and favoring procreation.
So now you get the kind of understanding of why Lucifer tried to use that apple and saying this what got Eve hyped up. And you will see on the back of your iPhone, on the Apple products, that a bite is mentioned out of the apple. So mandrakes was a male, but we didn't, it was the root that was more of the issue that caused, and what it was an aphrodisiac.
There you go.
That's all it was.
Natural by
That's exactly what it was. No synthetics.
Y'all looking like what?
So look, and then when you read about its qualities, it says sulfuric and cathartic, meaning it does the awareness and puts you in tunnel vision. Like if there's another product out on the market that's natural, called cannabis, that has the same quality, sulfuric and cathartic.
No, I'm just saying.
That's why when you show up with your care package after midnight, you got that and some drink. Because you tunnel vision on what I'm here for. Where we at?
Verse 14.
Verse 14. Anybody have a question? Okay.
What you taking care of?
It's the Bible. It's action packed.
Look, it's the manual of mankind. You got a manual in your glove box for your car that you flip through to see what's wrong. Why you ain't going here to see what's wrong with you?
Better with the sweets.
Right. Let's get it.
Verse 14. And found mandrakes in the field.
Right.
And brought them unto his mother Leah.
Right.
Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, it is a small matter that thou hast taken my husband.
So now they back squabbling again. Because Reuben is the firstborn of Leah, and he found the mandrakes. But they knew how this was an aphrodisiac,
A natural herb.
a natural herb for conception. So she said, look, you know, you done took my husband already. You know, you and daddy tricked him. And then, now you done took my son's mandrake. Leah, when you gonna stop, girl? Y'all see that squabbling inside the family like this? Two sisters squabbling like outsides. You done took, now you want my son's mandrake? But we gonna see here what changed their mind. Go and read some more.
And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight.
What should he do?
Lie with thee tonight.
See, Jacob had done cut Leah off at this point because Rachel was giving him her handmaids. So his love was back more powerful for Rachel at this point. So Leah said, I tell you what, we're going to do a swap here. I give you all the mandrakes. I give you all the Reuben's mandrakes. But I want Jacob tonight. Tonight. Go ahead. But this bed is undefiled because they all married.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes.
Right.
And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him. and said, Thou must come in unto me.
Thou must what?
Thou must come in.
Right.
For surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he laid with her that night.
What did he argue? No. See, we have to understand, and women, you have to understand is why you call females and not free males. You come with a fee. It's either a dowry or there's a position that a man have to take care of you. You're females, not free males. The sooner you understand it, the better off we'll be.
What'd you say, bro?
Female, not free. Somebody need to face that. Probably already. Go ahead,
Go ahead. Because y'all see what the deal is. Ain't no free ride here. It's like, what do I get out of this deal?
Like I hired you for that.
Right.
What's good?
What's good?
Verse 17. And Yahweh hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the fifth son.
See, now her womb opened back up. And it opened up not without the mandrake, because she gave Rachel the mandrake. The Lord opened her womb back up because she's dealing in a sense that you may look at she's driving him or what they doing. No, she's just refocusing his love on what the law says. You're starting to treat me again, not according to the law. You're not loving me equally. That don't mean that you don't have faith in the eyes of one wife or the other, but you start to diminish your responsibility with one over the other.
The attention.
Right, the attention time. That's why a bishop or a deacon must be of one wife. You got 10 wives, you ain't gonna have no time left. You think you'll be able to hit the street? No frontliners had wives like that. I got to go out here and then another one pulling on your coat when you forgot something, ain't you?
I've been a little late, fellas.
Right. Then you come walking wobbly leg. Green, brother. Let's get some more. Y'all ain't fooling ourselves. Where we at?
Verse 18. And Leah said, God has given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband.
Right.
And she called his name Issachar.
Thank you.
When their mindset was off the chain.
Boy, go ahead.
And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob the sixth son. And Leah said, God hath endured me with a good dowry.
With a good what?
A good dowry.
What does dowry mean? What is dowry, y'all? Look it up. Look it up. We know that you pay a dowry for a bride, but she said, God has now endowed me with a good dowry. Man, I got sons. We got wealth up in here now. And I got the sons that I ain't gonna never have to worry about nothing for the rest of my life. I'm surrounded by the inheritance of the blessed one of the Most High. My life gonna be good the rest of my life. Because the sons look out for their mom. Look, a lot of times women, you'll say, you ain't nothing but old mama's boy. It ain't that in every case. It's just a boy that loves his mom. It don't make you a mama's boy. Yeah, you want your son to love you like that, don't you? Where we at? Dowry. What we got?
Dowry. The price paid by the suitor to the parents of the prospective bride. Also the portion which the bride brought to her husband.
See, the portion that she brought to her husband.
She came with a gift to her.
Right, and the gift is, I'm bringing you sons. For Abraham's blessing to go, for it to come to fruition, I'm part of that now. Because for you to have seed as the stars up in heaven, I'm a major contributor to that now, to that prophecy. Go ahead, what we at?
20. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun.
And see, she's still thinking again, now he's only going to be in my tent because I got 6 to her folks.
So they all had their own tents to them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wasn't those same 10 actually Look, once the mind is going to be so wicked, then you'll have them performing on each other. All in the same tent.
Everybody had their own tent.
That's what Peter Moses was doing. When y'all see the whole story, it's a case study on it. It's you can DVR it. The whole thing. He had them in the bed with each other while he's sitting there smiling, licking his eyebrow.
Sitting in the chair watching.
Watching.
Twisting the scripts.
Twisting the scripts. Y'all, just cause he did that don't make it illegal. Let's get that straight too. That means he just was a wicked man with the laws of the Most High. Where we at?
21.
That's it? Okay, we can hold that. Y'all gonna speed through a few more things, and then now I want to get right to Genesis 37, verse 26. And we're going to show why Judah has mercy and the Messiah's come out of a mercy tribe, and why we must have mercy. And y'all, mercy don't mean forgiving bad things all the time that happen to you. Mercy is making a fair judgment, and you say, I will give a pardon for this bad behavior. But there's a balance for mercy. But when you read in the book of Sirach or Ecclesiastes or Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, verse 18, it says the Lord's majesty equals his mercy. So his mercy and his majesty is like this. That means yours have to be like that. That don't mean you fall over to one side and give too much mercy and your judgment is off, because then you're going to blame. Go ahead, where we at?
Genesis chapter 37, verse 26. Genesis chapter 37, verse 26. And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother?
So now these are the 12 tribes of Israel talking about killing the baby boy, Joseph. Why? Civil rivalry in the household. Jacob loved the baby boy and loved them less than the baby boy. And not only this, but the baby boy is getting visions from the Most High. He's starting to see the outcome of the other 11. Now they hating on him. All of them got their gifts. Naphtali would make Usain Bolt, man, look like he got on concrete boots. The speed of Naphtali. Naphtali could run so fast, they say it looked like he could run atop corn stalks and they wouldn't bend over. The speed of Naphtali. Right. Judah got it too. I'm talking about super speed. So all of them had this, but they were jealous of Joseph because Jacob gave him the coat of many colors. They mad about that. Damn, Daddy loved him more than all us. No, Daddy didn't love this his baby boy. And if we'd have kept on reading in Genesis, you'd have saw when Joseph was born, why he loved Joseph so much is because he thought, and then not only that, but Rachel died giving birth. Well, not to Benjamin, to the baby boy. But Joseph, that other son of Rachel, those biological children that came out of her, Joseph and Benjamin. He loved him, like that. And then Rachel died giving birth to the baby boy, Benjamin. So he really loved Joseph, and he just made him a coat. And the other brothers, now look, y'all think about this. Want to kill your brother because of a coat. And not only that, but because the Lord was dealing with him too. Where we at? Read some more. Yeah. Nice coat, bro. Many colors. Hand fashioned. Because those were symbols of authority and different things. That's what Judah took off all that stuff. He was taking off his diadem. These things meant something. It was like a garment that the Most High covered Adam and Eve of when they sinned. That garment moved throughout history. A lot of Masons think that that's that apron that they have on. They say that's the actual garment of that the Most High clothed Adam and Eve with. To cover their nakedness. Right. So you have to understand what garments meant back in that time when they passed down, like when Aaron got court-martialed in, was that Numbers 25, 22? And the Most High snatched them clothes off of him for what him and Moses did at the water strike and said, put them on Eleazar. You don't need these righteous garments. These garments are blessed garments. I mean, it ain't this stuff that boy be hollering at 4 o'clock in the morning. Ah! Sit out for a handkerchief. No, it wasn't that. Right. Where we at?
Verse 26 again. And Judah said unto his brother, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood?
So now what we're doing here is going through, what I'm going through is by steps. The prophecy of Judah is the blessings, what would happen to them, their birth, and now we're starting to show how Judah is dealing with the law of the Most High. So now that he's thinking about killing his brother and concealing his blood. What is that called? Murder. Murder. Premeditated murder. Because they're discussing it. And in this land, in all of the scripture, there's no statute of limitations for it. That's why Abel from the grave is still hollering about eradicating Cain's seed from the earth, which happened. It's the same thing about Zechariah, John the Baptist's father, being killed behind the altar. Eradicate their blood. It's the saints under the altar. Eradicate them that done this. Because it's no statute of limitations on it. We'll hunt you down till you dead. And then they'll dig you up and let the public know this who did it and bury you back up. So the whole world will know. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites.
Sell him to who?
The Ishmaelites. And let not our hand be upon him.
So you see how they plot. Look, your hand's still in it. Because you the co-conspirator. You are the chief mastermind of this. But we'll sell them to the Ishmaelites. Know why? Because the Ishmaelites bought slaves all the time. They would sit in the highways and buy slaves. Go ahead.
For he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content.
Now Judah showed mercy on him because the other 10 brothers wanted to kill him. Judah showed mercy here. No, man, look, let's just sell them to the Ishmaelites, man. We can't kill them. It's just how the rest of the people going to be looking at us. How are we going to be the light to the world? We killed our own brother. We murdered him. It's just like you hear that boy from one of them alphabet group talking about, I can't wait till the Lord let me murder my auntie and murder my mama. I'll murder my mama. You saying the Lord going to allow you to shed innocent blood. What? And you on film saying this to the whole world and you using the word murder?
You're not swallowing words.
Yeah. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 28. Yeah. Did you want to keep going?
No, just
we on 28.
More.
Okay. Then there passed by Midianites, merchant men, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver.
No, they sold him less than what Judah sold the Messiah for. The price of a slave was 30 pieces of silver. They negotiated on Jacob. They threw him down in a pit and threw goat blood on his coat and told their dad and told Jacob that a wild beast had killed. Now, what do you think that's doing to his heart? My son has been killed like that. What? And they standing there. How your grandma say, you gonna stand there and tell a bold-faced lie. They standing there telling bold-faced lies. Just standing there, yeah, got it. I don't know, they said it looked like a wolverine. No, it was a hyena. A hyena. All they story, ain't none of them matching up. Go ahead.
2 nickels apiece.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And see, Reuben, y'all read on down, we're going to read the whole thing, but you see, Reuben went back to get him out, but they had already got him. But it was all for the Lord, for him going down into Egypt and setting up shop for his brothers that he ended up loving. But they thought Joseph was going to repay him. They dirty deed. What you got?
No, it's just another thing, too. We see early on, now we know that during the time, I'm pretty sure we might cover it a little bit.
Yeah.
How we came out of 70 AD, and a lot of us went into those slave markets then. Ishmael always been dealing with slaves.
Right. deal with us today in the hair shops and the liquor stores.
But you went around claiming to be them, and they said from your early beginnings, dealing with you treacherous.
They sell pork and all them places. They ain't supposed to touch it. And they law, they ain't even supposed to touch it, but they selling it to us.
That's what they think about.
Over there, yes. Just give me your card, leave it at the counter. There's plenty of skin cracklings you like. and extra bottles of hot sauce that we put out this way. Skin crackling. There you go, shaking and walking out there.
I gotta recognize what y'all dealing with out here. Y'all dealing with treacherous beast out here.
What we're talking about, y'all, is dealing with ourselves, the Lord, our standards, and the goal has become dim because we don't know the law. They can't sell you. They're not forcing you to buy it. You're buying it because you don't know, understand the law, statutes, and judgment. They are manipulating off of your misunderstanding of the law or not knowing it at all. You know, they ain't saying we ain't taking no money unless you buy skins. You willfully breaking the law. And they like, look at him, this supposed to be the light of the world. Right here. These skin munchers. Where we at? Let's get right to the order. Genesis 38, y'all, again, we're going to move right in because we're running out of time, but I want to get right to the heart of that. Then we got some other books over here. That one book now is, what, over 10 grand now they want for? $3,000. So y'all, yeah. So y'all, we're going to show how the tribes got split up, but we're dealing with Judah here today, y'all, and what causes our problems in our mindset when we start to think and manipulate the law. That's why it's up here. This is what the Most High going to judge you by. He ain't going to judge you by what such and such said. He going to show you what you were thinking when you decided to manipulate the law. In high definition, your thought process, just like they show you today, whenever you type in something, they show your thought process. That one police that killed, said 2 white men and a black man he was chasing, then he ended up killing himself because he'd been stealing money. Y'all know what I'm talking about, that the police in Illinois.
Killed himself.
Now they're looking at all his text messages where he's plotting murder on the lady that's investigating the program that he was on. First, he want to plant dope on her. Then they tried to get her drunk, but she won't get drunk. He's plotting like David was on Uriah. He's got cocaine in his desk, so if he's doing that to his own kind, you know what Leroy and Rufus they got planted on them. Right. Yeah. And now they're scouring all of his text messages where his whole life story, he's telling everything that Mark of Cain is on. He actually kills himself and lying all the way to the grave. This is unrepentant. This is the other side of the gulf for him. You going to the grave with lies? How you gonna put a pistol right here, you lying in your death, to cover your transgression instead of face it head on? And now the mama included too, because she read some of the text messages she was passing them back and forth. She was in on some of them gifts of stolen booty. Genesis 38:1, y'all. We're going to skip through here. This is just showing now the problems. Now we've been through the blessings and what will happen to us. Now we're going into Judah's problem. So these are all to show you that we are that tribe here in America. So we're going through prophecy so you understand what's happening and why we are these people and not through just happenstance. Where we at? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 38, verse 1. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adulamite whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her.
So Judah saw a Canaanite woman which we was warned not to go into. This is the head of the tribe. Nice looking Hamite problem. You know, they knew and went in unto her. Go ahead.
And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name
Right.
And she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan.
Right.
And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chezel when she buried. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Most High. And the Most High slew him.
See, so Judah's son was wicked, and I mean, that means he was a practicing lawbreaker. That's what wickedness is. It's when you start to practice lawbreaking. It's like when you start feeling your wickedness, like what R. Kelly was doing. He started peeing on it, and then he filmed it. Now, what type of enjoyment you gonna get out of watching that? Go ahead.
And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother.
Because this is the order when your brother died with no children. If you have another brother, then he takes your wife, which is a widow now, and he has a child by her, and that child has all of that child belongs to him. It's going to have his name, it's going to have everything. That was in the law. Was that Deuteronomy 21?
25.
25, yeah. So, and it speaks about the brother that should take his the brother should take the wife of his dead brother to make sure his seed continues in the earth. Go ahead.
And Onan knew that the seed should not be hid.
What did he know?
He knew that the seed should not be hid.
So Onan is conscious of this law at this point. He know that ain't going to be my son. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground.
Right.
Least that he should give seed to his brother.
So now we got a bunch of what we call syncretism saying, well, masturbation is wrong. You spill it on the ground. Coitus interruptus is wrong because that has nothing to do with this scripture right here. You point to it and say that's what that means. What this means is he knew the child wasn't going to be his, and he pulled coitus interruptus at that point. Not for the point that he was worried about having a child. He didn't want the child to be his brother's. He didn't want all of that going to his brother. But you know what he did want? That activity. That knowing warfare is what he wanted. That's what he wanted. Because that's what he participated in.
Right, he denied that.
Not that at all.
It was the intent of his heart to circumvent the law and not fulfill the request. Oh, you want this side of it? Yeah, he's smiling. Yeah, how you doing, my wife and brother? Yeah, you ready to give our brother seed? And then in the back of his heart, no, when I get through, there ain't going to be no seed. Now you know he just wanted to go ahead. But look, y'all read Leviticus 15 if you want to understand about seed, period. And law is sin, transgression of the law is sin. So you have to make sure that when you say certain things are sin, you can show a blood sacrifice for it. If you can't, you may find words of unclean and different things. Because Leviticus 15 go into, if it ever, I don't care how it's admitted, there must be cleansing before nightfall. So if you find that and you bring it back and you say that, now it gets into things of vile behavior and vile affection when you start loving yourself more than a woman and you want to love yourself more than getting a wife. You whooping on yourself like an old woman. Yeah, that's the problem.
Touching yourself.
In that Leviticus 15, it do actually say that they have to offer a sin sacrifice for that spillage or that drainage or that leakage.
Read it what it's saying.
Give me a second. Go ahead, read. I'm right here. But go ahead.
The sin sacrifice, like I said, because you could get. See, if every time you have to offer a sin sacrifice when it go out, it has to be something wrong with it going out. Because you can't offer a sin sacrifice to be fruitful and multiply. Now we got a contradiction here. So it's something else in there, Jay, that says the reason why there was a sin offering that they had to come to the table with. about that being, that spillage there. Go ahead, go ahead.
13 and 14. Yeah, you get 13 and 14. And when he has an issue is when it's cleansed, after it's unclean, then it's cleansed, and the washing of the clothes and all that.
What's it? Yeah.
All right. You want to read something?
No, just read where you at.
All right, verse 13. And when he that had an issue is cleansed of his issue,
See, your issue is an STD.
then he shall number to his 7 days for his cleansing.
Don't the doctor tell you that?
7
Take
days.
these pills for how many days? 7 days. Y'all know if y'all been down on Grand. You know Grand. I don't know where is that now. I don't know. I just heard it.
And he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing.
Right.
And wash his clothes, bathe his flesh in running water, and he shall be clean. And on the 8th day,
Right.
he shall take to him 2 turtle doves,
Right.
2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord into the door of the tabernacle of the congregation and give it to the priest. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering,
Right.
and the other one for a burnt offering.
Right.
And the priest shall make an atonement
Right.
for him before the Lord for his issue.
See, and that's an issue. That means he's unclean. That issue is caused from, when you back it up, you'll see that issue is caused from an STD. Because it's an issue went forth and you got to take 7 days off, just like leprosy. It was the same way. You had the priest would have to pronounce you clean. Our priest was our physicians. They would have to take a look at it and say, yeah, you know, okay, you good. See, on the cowboy trail, because they said sheep were made just like women, and they would go into sheep on the trail. And that's how they told what type of man you was, how many burn marks you had on your vessel. Because they would put a hot poker in some, and they put it right there on the circumcision, and the issue would shoot out. And you got burn marks all over it. No. Yeah. What 16, 17 say?
Leviticus 15, verse
16. And if a man's seed of copulation
Right.
go out from him,
Right.
then he shall wash all the flesh in water, and be unclean until evening.
See, and that's just until evening. So evening is because the morning and the evening were the first day. You have to understand, but there's 12 hours a night. It's just saying evening and the day and the hours of the daylight are part of what we call daylight. And then you got watches in the night. Like you see always time prophets will be saying, can you not stay up to the third watch of the night? So evening and the morning were part of the first day because no work is done in the 12 hours of the night. The Most High didn't work on planet Earth and get everything ready during the night hours. He worked during the day hours. Because he tell you, are there not 12 hours in the day and 12 hours in the night? So evening and morning is part of the day. If we don't like that, what's happening is, if you don't understand it from that perspective, then you won't understand that the Sabbath day starts right at sundown Friday. If you don't understand that, the Sabbath will just be starting in the morning of Saturday morning. If you don't understand, but that's a different topic. I won't take y'all way off of that.
Back up about that issue. That's page 2101. It's Zoe, and it says issue, discharge, venereal disease.
What it say?
Venereal disease.
So y'all, the laws are there for that as well. But to say,
Which will make sense.
right,
They would have to sacrifice for sin. They know you.
right, you doing something. It could have been bestiality. It could have been anything. You got a disease, harlotry. You over at the shake joint, raw dogging. That came from sin.
Stay away from it.
Stay away.
Did something.
Did something.
Did something.
What you got, bro?
That's why an offering had to be made.
Right.
Absolutely.
But that offer made, is that under Melchizedek or?
You know, that's
Aaron?
That was under Aaron at that time. Because we're getting the laws from Levi. But understand that still, when Paul speaks about it, should a man take a harlot and bring him into his fold? What he's saying is a harlot has more than one man. Always. I mean, if you got a gal on the side, you can't tell her not to have another man because she's secret. You think you go over there because you pay the refrigerator bill? The cable bill still needs to be paid. You can't bring that back to your house.
I mean,
That's what Magic Johnson did, didn't he?
Right, yeah.
You understand where we're going? Yeah. Okay. All right. Where we at?
Genesis chapter 38, verse 9 again. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother.
Now, let me say this again. Brothers, you can get so backed up, it'll have you walking over like this. You go to the doctor, he hits your prostate gland. And you bend over a table, and I'm telling you, 30 children will come out of you and you will straighten up.
Goodness.
If you can't make that connection with a woman, they keep turning you down, and it's been that since you've been a young boy, check yes or no if you like me. If it ain't no, keep coming back, and now you into your adulthood.
Don't keep coming back.
And you ain't had no wet dreams at night, that builds up and it puts pressure on your prostate gland. And you go to the doctor and you be bent over walking like this. He know what the deal is. He says a woman in your life. No. What about Rosie Palm? No. Rosie Palm.
Hey, look, they call it today blue.
Right, yeah.
And they stick their finger like they do a prostate exam when you get 50 years old. Y'all gonna get one. 49. And it releases everything. And you walk out of that doctor's office with a wobbly leg, but you standing up straight now. A little shaky. But that's when David went to the priest. They asked him, have your men been with women at all? Because they're unclean. Right. Even if it was their wives, they're unclean till the evening. I can't give you the showbread. David said, I swear to you, they ain't been around no women.
Don't you wash up?
You supposed to wash up. When you sneak it at the hot sheet joint, you throw the rag in the sink when you through. You can't go home with it on you, can you? Right. Makes sense. Let's read some more.
Verse 10.
So long, y'all.
Like, what kind of Bible class? Hey, it's real life.
It's called the Book of Life. It deals with every event in life. So on Judgment Day, you cannot say, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be doing that with my person.
You won't hear none of this when you go to the doctor in the mall. Everything's taboo.
Yeah.
Like you ain't been getting down on the other side of midnight. Like, what's all these little short leggers running through church? How they get
Right. How you think that your congregation started 10 years ago with 10 of y'all? Now it's 1,000.
Right.
1,000. 1,000.
I'm saying all this is in the scripture.
Where we at?
Everybody
Verse 10.
Right.
10,000.
Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 38, verse 10. And the thing which he did displeased the Most High. Wherefore he slew him also.
Killed him too. And this is for wickedness, so this is for sin. But the sin is to take advantage of this woman he's supposed to be doing, and now you making her out to be a harlot. Right. This your brother's wife.
That's a law too.
Now you just pouring her around. Go ahead, what you got, brother? Yes, okay. Yeah, go ahead, hit that Deuteronomy. Go hold this, go ahead, Deuteronomy 25.
This the law on the brother going into his brother's wife after he's dead.
So y'all understand that we don't do syncretism, meaning that you apply something else to this right here. This applied to that law because this is what God is punishing about, breaking his law. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 25 and starting verse 5. It says, if brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger.
See that? Can't marry nobody outside of Israel. Go ahead.
Her husband's brother shall go in unto her.
Her what?
Her husband's brother shall go in unto her.
And that's what we just read right here. Wasn't that what old Nan's supposed to be doing? Go ahead.
And take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead.
Right.
That his name that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders, and say, my husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel.
So this the woman going out, but this man saying, no, I ain't touching you, period. Understand what she's going to the elder for. She's saying he won't do what he's supposed to. Go ahead, read some more.
Notice said that his name be not put out of Israel.
That's right.
That way he has an inheritance and his name goes on.
That's right.
His bloodline is not cut off. Who better to do it than his brother?
Right.
Same DNA law. Said, my husband's brother refuses to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house, and his name shall be called in Israel. You know we John.
Right.
And his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that hath his shoe loose.
Right. So when you were saying, look at this loose shoe nigga. Here come this loose shoe. So y'all, but notice what this man did. What Onan did is he knew that law. He said, I'm not going to turn it down.
That's the Leviticus 19.
And so he fulfilled half of it to his desire.
He just wanted the pleasure.
That's all.
But I mean, why wouldn't that be evil? Why wouldn't you want to build up your brother? Like if my brother died, why wouldn't I want to make sure his name carry on in the earth? Like how selfish are you? Why would you want your brother's seed to continue in the earth?
You're doing it anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're doing it anyway.
Right. But y'all, these are the laws and understanding. When you understand the law, and there has to be sin sacrifices for law breaking, then you just can't point to things and say that's a sin, because when you learn it, you're going to tell them, well, show me the blood sacrifice for that sin.
Ooh. Why?
Show me the blood sacrifice. If you can't, it's not sin. It may not be the will of the Father, but it's not sin.
It's not abomination.
It's not abomination. See, this man was killed for what he did. And the only thing the other boy got was his shoe spit. And that was the same thing when Miriam lashed out at Moses and they had to put her away for 7 days. Say, if her father but had spit in her face, she still got to do 7 days, and that would be if you came home with a baby back to your father's house. What the daddy at? He said he wasn't looking for all that. He thought it was just friends with benefits. And he spit in her face. It's a disgrace to his household. Y'all, these are hardcore lessons, y'all, and don't think ain't nobody. These is hitting everybody. This Hebrews 4:12. This is what the Spirit do of truth. It cuts down to the marrow of the bone. It's designed to cut you to the middle of your soul, so you won't do it again and you turn from it. Right. And whatever the cause, you can't keep letting the flesh overrule the Spirit. The flesh don't control the Spirit. You control that, but you give in to the flesh for a feeling. That's all it is, just a feeling, because when you're done, you be like, man, hug me. Look, we can't fool ourselves. The Most High know it. Where we at? Yeah, we're going to speed this up just a bit.
You know what's crazy, man? The Most High saw
What you have
flow. That means the Most High saw the whole act going down.
Yeah, he saw it. That's the good. And see, because the Most High's laws is there, we say like, so it don't get you misunderstood when they say the Most High know the beginning from the end. He knows your thought process. Once you start here, he already knows what the beginning of this matter is. Once you start plotting that robbery at the back, the Most High already know what the end thereof gonna be. You're never going to escape it because they're going to keep looking for you till you dead. So he knows the same way, but it's based off of your consciousness on how you try to manipulate the law. Look, even when we have a problem with the 2-witness rule. I brought up Matthew 18. Look, how you going to bring me somebody about the subject and the subject matter, they just got out the subject matter. Deuteronomy chapter 17 tells us, look, anybody of the accusing can't have a stone in their hand. If you commit adultery, you can't be there like this, ready to throw your rock, and you just said you in it now. So it had to be somebody free of whoever be in charge that you bring them, because they can weigh it with an even balance. If you got that on your jacket currently, you ain't going to weigh it. You're going to favor the men just like all of the men that was out there finna stone that woman when Christ said, let him without sin cast the first stone. It wasn't mean that you just because you sin, it meant the sin of adultery at that point. Which one of y'all ain't caught up in this and you start writing in the ground? You know what he was writing? I'm saying. Shushan of the house of such and such, and they probably were looking, damn, that's my name. He writing in the ground. No, ain't no problem. He like this. You like this, ready to throw. And then you just... No rocks got thrown because it was that specific charge. You can't do just like in the book of Susanna. When they was trying to attack her, both of them men was throwing stones at her and lying on her. But Daniel came up and told him, he asked both of them, what y'all up to? Both y'all plotting on a righteous woman? And gonna have her go to the lake of fire for y'all lust. Right. Terrible, y'all. Right. But y'all, we got to cover these laws from the four corners. Every word is law, every angle. So that when people say or they point syncretism, you get them right back on it. I'm going to say this when we move on. Like when those that keep saying one on J in the alphabet and Jesus mean hail Zeus. When you look up Zeus, just show me what Zeus' quality is. The problem is ain't nobody looking up Zeus. Zeus came from Mount Olympus. Where's Christ coming back to? Zion. Mount what? Alabama. So, but the foundation is Mount Zion. So that's where the law comes forth from. It says his parents is such and such, Jupiter. And then when you get into Acts 28, Paul was warned with them about that. If he's talking about Christ, how is he warned with them about Jupiter being Christ? But we're not studying that. We just, they got something. Damn, I knew that J was messed up. It ain't the J. It's your understanding that they just done threw you a curveball.
Doing the works.
Hey, look, let me say something real quick. And if y'all type it in on YouTube, y'all get a chance just to show y'all something. Type in the Hebrew Yahawashah translated to English Jesus. It will blow your mind.
Yeah,
it'll take you from the Hebrew to the Greek and to the ancient Hebrew to the modern Hebrew to the Greek and to the actual English, and show y'all that every letter if you actually translate it, it says Jesus in English. It'll show you.
See, and they know that because it looked like it was written on the when they nailed it on the cross, his name was written in all languages, Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. So y'all, when we get caught up in that, we don't understand the law, then you get into syncretism and you make Christ Jupiter or hail Zeus. When you go read about Zeus, it's telling you that. You don't think the Most High gonna tell you that on Judgment Day? Go and get the records of Zeus and then put them down here, and I'm gonna lay down Matthew 1 right here. And you tell me how they match up the same. And you looking like this, and then look for your preacher. He like, I'm going Testament of the 12 patriarchs, y'all. We'll put it up on the board. I'm gonna increase that size, y'all. We're just gonna go into something. We're gonna speed this up. We got about 15, 20 minutes. And I want to get into the heart of what Judah is teaching us. Is going to go through all of the blessings because Jacob gave his blessing to the sons. Now, the testament of the 12 patriarchs, Judah is going to talk to his offspring and tell them what's going to befall them in the last day. And now we're going to get into what's going to truly identify us as this people when you start to look at TV and you say, that's us. That's us. And nobody else do this. And they know it. They show you it. Get right down to the first chapter, y'all. We're going to skip down to the second chapter after I get into it. And y'all truly understand why we saying fourth tribe, y'all. Then y'all understand you be able to stand on it. Because if you think ain't nobody gonna come and it's gonna be non-Messianic Israelites that's gonna ask you how you know you Jew. You just can't start fussing and talking about the niggas, whatever, nigga. Well, I need to increase that even more than it was to the side. Yeah, see that? All right. Okay. Let me see if I can get one more. I hope y'all vision is a little bit better. You know, I hate it ain't, but y'all look, y'all got smartphones too. If y'all got smartphones, if y'all got smartphones, it'll get on the smartphone as well. Let me see if I can do this 145. Y'all, they gonna let me get in between. I don't know how to make it stay. Okay. Okay, y'all. If y'all can check your smartphones, but y'all weapons of warfare, y'all need all y'all weapons of warfare. Apocrypha, Book of Enoch, if you can afford it on Amazon. You know, treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Get on there and order some books and they'll be at your door in 2 days. And that'll help you study. And you won't, after you be able to take somebody right through this, but if you notice what we did first is we went to the Bible first. And then we go to the lost books. So that so if you hear any error in there, they should match up and link up perfectly. If they don't, out the door. Let's get it, y'all. Chapter 1 of this fourth tribe. Yeah, give me that, y'all. Give me that title.
It's on the page 7 and 201, 794, 95. Well, I can just read that here.
What are you reading about?
This is the law.
Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
The Testament of Judah, chapter 1. The copy of the words of Judah. What things he spake to his sons before he died.
Before he did what?
Before he died.
Okay.
They gathered themselves together, therefore, and came to him, and he said to them, Hearken, my children, to Judah your father. I was the fourth son born to my father Jacob.
Is that the truth? So we know this is linking up with the Bible. Go ahead.
And Leah, my mother, named me Judah, saying, I give thanks to the Lord, because he had given me a fourth son also. I was swift in my youth.
What was he?
Swift in my youth.
Y'all know what we talking about when somebody's swift. Fast, y'all. You can't catch it. If you play that game where they steal you in the gut and then run around the car, you be out of breath and mad too. I'm gonna kill you when I catch you. You be close, but they run back around the other way. Go ahead.
And obedient to my father in everything.
And what? Say that again.
Obedient to my father in everything.
Right.
And I honored my mother and my mother's sister.
Right.
And it came to pass when he became a man. When I became a man, that my father blessed me, saying, Thou shalt be a king, prospering in all things.
Right.
And the Lord showed me favor in all my works, both in the field and in the house.
Right.
I know that I raised a hind.
Right.
And caught it.
What is a hind? A deer. Now he raced a hind and caught it. Y'all watched the channel on that, when them, what was it called? You know when that lion be yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. And they chasing them and they dart back and forth, and the lion finally get tired and say, "You gotta wait that time. don't come back this way again. You know, and they get away. He say, I'll challenge it in a race, and then I just grab it and caught it. Do y'all know a cheetah bursts at 60 miles an hour? Right. Only way y'all understand that is when y'all watching a 100-yard dash. This is the Olympic #1 sporting event, the men's 100-yard dash. And they have that go-kart on the side of it, and they film them running on the side. Y'all, it look almost supernatural. Fast these people will be running. Every other nation got one representative. But there's so many in Judah, it's a Edomite named John Little. Shit, to have us running like we got on concrete boots if we ain't ready for it. It's a Moabite out there that can run fast, but Judah got them on every playground. Right. That's what they do, they just drive through the ghetto. Did you see? Pull over. Hey, who are your parents? My mama at home don't know who my dad is. How'd you like a free scholarship? Don't worry about learning. We'll get you some basket weaving classes and hymn making. And you graduate with honors. Look, Dexter Manley said he couldn't read at all and play for the Washington Redskins team. He said he used to sit in the locker room with a Wall Street Journal, popping it open, and didn't know what it was, like Chinese hieroglyphics. Played it for 10 years. Go ahead, y'all.
Y'all also Google Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
He raced a horse. It's on YouTube. He beat the horse.
Jesse Owens did it. Ben Johnson did it. And Michael Johnson. In a quarter mile, because that's too up here next.
I know that I raced the hind and caught it, and prepared the meat for my father, and he did eat.
Right.
And the roles I used to master in the chase.
He said I used to master them in the chase. He like give them a head start. And catch them, and that was dinner. Now look y'all what kind of shape they're telling us we got to be in if the tribulation did come. Well, we'll starve to death if it had to be for us catching on something. Go ahead.
And the roles I used to master in the chase.
Right.
And overtake all that was in the plains. A wild mare I overtook.
What did he take?
A wild mare I overtook.
What is a mare? A horse. He said I overtook him. Y'all, this is me. I caught up with him. And I got in front of him. Y'all, when y'all used to see they had process with the Indians and the so-called tribe of Gad here, or Reuben here in this land, they used to catch wild horses, the Mustangs. How y'all think they was doing that? And then get on the back of them and let them buck, and then they break them down. Go ahead, read some more.
A wild mare I overtook, and caught it, and tamed it. I slew a lion and plucked a kid out of its mouth.
Didn't David do that? Go ahead.
I took a bear by its paw, and hurled it down the cliff, and it was crushed. I outran the wild boar, and seizing it as I ran, I tore it in asunder.
See, he destroyed that. Why? Because it was a what?
A pig.
A pig. But he ate the rope. Go ahead.
A leopard in Hebron leaped upon my dog, and I caught it by the tail, and hurled it on the rocks, and it was broken in twain.
See, that would be the thing if a dog going crazy. Grab it by the tail and swing it around like this. Pass it against the stomach like that. It's a leopard. Go ahead. He's a superhero.
I found a wild ox feeding in the fields, and seizing it by the horns, and whirling it around, and stunning it, I cast it from me and slew it.
Right.
And when
That's right.
And when the two kings of the Canaanites came sheathed in armor against our flocks, and much people with them, single-handed, I rushed upon the king of Hazor, and smote him on the greaves, and dragged him down, and so I slew him.
So, y'all, we ain't gonna go through all of this, but what you're seeing here is when you hear police and different things say, it's like he has supernatural strength. You know, and why? You think they're gonna take off after you? They're like, shit, the chances of me catching you, I hit Powerball 3 times in 1 week for that happen. Pow! And look, the boy Walter Scott was running like he had on concrete boots and he didn't want to chase after him. He was just running like that. He's like, I ain't chasing you. 3 in the back. Pow, 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 pow. Y'all have to understand they already read these. They had them already in their possessions to identify who we were. That's why they know and we don't. Hosea ben Israel. Y'all read that whole chapter, y'all, when y'all get time, because we're gonna get to the heart of the meat. That whole first chapter shows his strength. Now I want to get into the this verse 10, and it talks about again. Verse 10 of that same first chapter. So it picks up, y'all, and it gives blow by blow. Read this verse 10. Just read verse 10 of that same first chapter. We're going to get into the second chapter because that's very important.
A wild mare I overtook.
No, verse 10 of chapter 1.
This word.
That is.
I got it.
No, not chapter 10. Of this same, verse chapter 1.
After my son heard.
Yeah.
I got it.
The verse 10 of chapter 1. Am I saying that right?
You're right. Chapter 1, verse 2.
Right.
After this, my son, brought from Mesopotamia Tamar, daughter of Aram, as a wife for himself. Was wicked, and a difficulty arose concerning Tamar.
Okay. Read yours, man. I mean, because it's matching up with that. I mean, they saying the same thing. It's just using a different English that he used. They're saying the same thing, but here's his word for word with this one up here. You just in verse 10. You in that same chapter 1, just verse 10.
That's what I was reading.
He was reading it.
It ain't number.
You're the right one.
They had the same thing, numbers is different.
Go ahead, keep reading it, bro.
Because she was not of the land of Canaan.
Right.
The angel of the Lord took him away on the 3rd night. He had not had intercourse with her.
He had not had what?
Intercourse with her.
See, all he's reading is from is a more modern English, but it's saying the same thing if we can read on. Go ahead.
In keeping with his mother's treacherous scheme, because he did not want to have children by her. In the days designated for the bridal chamber, I assigned only to fulfill the marital role with her.
See, so what it's saying, Judah, they started with the root of the problem. Judah married a Canaanite woman and had Onan and from her. Well, the mother was wicked. She didn't want Tamar to be the daughter-in-law. She wanted him to marry a Canaanite. That's why it says don't marry outside the wife, because the mother will control the boy's thought process. And then especially if it's from a strange woman. Judah knew that they served other gods, and he married this Canaanite woman and had 2 sons by her, which both of them ended up wicked, not because he married them, but because they were taught wickedness. So it started with Judah breaking the law first. And now it's rolling downhill, but Tamar, he was trying to get it straight back out with an Israelite woman, Tamar, and say, okay, my sons marry her. But his mother, he said, those sons' mother was so wicked, she was plotting. No, don't marry her. Don't marry her. Marry our people. Marry our people. So it was war now. So Judah broke the law. Or if you see a woman of another nation, you bring in her, she pare her nails and cut her hair off, and then she get down with this Israelite doctrine. He overlooked all of that for his desire of his flesh. Read some more.
But in his wickedness, he did not have intercourse with her, even though he was with her for a year.
Right.
When I threatened him, he lay with her, but let his semen spill out on the ground, as his mother ordered him.
See, so when you get into these books, you see the fine detail of it. We ain't gonna read no more of that, but y'all read on your own time, and you'll see the fine, intricate details of what really happened. His mother told him, your father threatened you, he ain't gonna give you no inheritance. Look, just pull Cordis and interrupt this with him. Give her a few links in. We're going down to chapter 2. Read chapter 2. I want you to, okay. Hold on. It's chapter 10?
It's numbered differently in the pseudo and in the lost books. It's numbered differently.
Okay, so explaining a little bit more to y'all from 12 on down, because I want to get right into chapter 2 or 4 because we run out of time. We'll have to leapfrog this all the way up. Y'all read in the Testament of Judah all 4 chapters. There's only 4 chapters. But in this chapter, it also tells you by Judah not giving them sons to his wife, and he had the baby boy left because 2 boys dead, right? He's got the baby boy, Shelah. He was supposed to give it to Tamar, but he held him back because of the wickedness of his wife. He thought she still had control. So guess what? He got drunk. And Tamar knew that he was going to shear his sheep, so she dressed up like a harlot. And he ended up getting his daughter-in-law pregnant. He ended up doing it. But if he had just let Shelah have her, he would have never been caught in the trap. Now, a lot of say, well, did Tamar do wickedness? According to the law, you open the door for wickedness. Understand it's just the same law. Y'all, we have to understand, huh?
You say it again. Go back. You say he opened the door, but he married the Canaanite woman first, and thus this is how all this transpired.
Right, because he's supposed to get a son, but his baby boy, he was saving him because of what the wife had done, and the other 2 boys were killed, but they was listening to his mama, so he was trying to save this baby boy, and he ended up getting drunk. But if y'all can read from here, y'all. Somebody just read from here, y'all. And y'all see that? And y'all see what happened. He gonna tell you when he first met the
she was
start of verse 11. Read verse 11 for me, y'all. Who got this book just like this? When it said, I knew the race of the Canaanites. Where you pick that up at?
I got it.
The race of the Canaanites. You got that like that? Go ahead, bro. Read that.
And I knew that the race of the Canaanites was evil.
What did he say he knew?
The race of the Canaanites was evil.
See, it's not about marrying strange wives. It's marrying a strange wife that you know serving another God. This is what made Solomon fail. They told him, we serve Ashtaroth and Molech. He's like, and what that mean to me? Get in them chains. And when you read the Songs of Solomon, it say it reeked with the smell of mandrake. Why? Because he had 1,000 wives. Mandrake had to be on man. Go ahead.
But youthful impulses blinded my reason.
Right.
And when I saw her, I was led astray by the strong drink and had intercourse with her.
See, so he said, I knew I wasn't supposed to be with her anyway, but she started letting that hen dog fly. That gray goose. She was popping bottles on me. And in my youth, I let my guards down because it was flowing abundantly.
Wine and women.
Go ahead.
Hold on, Ruben got something. What's up,
Go ahead, read on, bro.
While I was absent, she went off and brought from Canaan, a wife for Shelah. And when I realized what she had done, I pronounced a curse on her. And in the anguish of my soul, and she died in her wickedness together with her children.
See, so, look, the Lord don't play.
Wow.
What? But see, Judah still is tripping because she would have never been able to do that to Shelah if he hadn't been on his game. But she knew what he liked. Them distilled spirits. His cabinet members, his advisors. Gin and juice. N and C. Jack and Daniel. N and C. You know that's what they be always in the cabinet. That's called the top shelf liquor. And usually people form a drink and then they want to discuss after that. Let's discuss it over a drink. Cabinet members advise them to steal spirits. Go ahead. Where we at?
Are we going to go to 12?
Yeah, just read that.
After this, while Tamar was a widow.
While she was a what?
Widow.
Right.
She heard 2 years later that I was going up to shear sheep, decked herself in bridal array, and she sat at the entrance of the inn in the city of Canaan. For there was a law among the Amorites that a woman who was a widow should sit in a public like a whore. And since I was drunk with wine, I did not recognize her, and her beauty enticed me because of her manner of tricking herself out.
So what basically saying is she knew the law of the Amorites was when our women get married, you be a whore for 7 days before you get married. Get it out your system. The law of the Amorites. So that's why she was sitting at the gate of the Amorites. She put on this guard because she knew that that's the deal, that men could come through and you in your bridal gown, they knew, oh, she finna get married. So I can have her. I can have her. Get it out, they let the women get it out their system before they get married to another man. And Judah being drunk, he an Israelite, he know about the custom, but he's taking a chance on STDs. So he go into her thinking it's just a woman waiting to get married and he gonna be one to give her pleasure too. This is how wicked the Amorites were at this time. And she knew it. Go ahead, read
So this is Judah and Tamar.
Yeah.
Now, when you get into it, you see out of that union came the Messiah.
That's right.
And him going into her,
Right.
eventually on down the line was the same bloodline Christ came through.
That's right.
He ain't come through, of course, none of his wicked sons that ended up dying, of course not. And then he kept Shelah, his youngest boy, back from her. You feel me? So when he went into that seed right there eventually produced who we know today is Jesus Christ.
That's right. But we're going to see why. Read on, bro, right quick. We're going to flip just to the 4th chapter, y'all.
I bent
Because I'm
down.
running out of time. Go ahead.
I bent down and said to her, I shall go in to you. And she said, what will you give me? And I gave her my staff and my ring, my royal crown as a pledge.
So, it's a female, like. She ain't asking. Look, she ain't like, it ain't free, Papa. What you gonna give me?
Because it was basically in his mind, it was him about to deal with a harlot.
That's right.
So he had to give up something. He gave his staff, which is his symbol of rulership, his rings and all that.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna give you my staff, signet, and rings.
Right. All of your favorite jewel that you wear out when you put on your best clothes.
But then everything he gave her showed his authority, and you know what I'm saying, how he was gonna rule. Like he got a staff,
right?
It means authority, a signet, and rings. That's royalty. So he gave his badge of honor to her. To who he thought was a harlot.
Right. Because he was what?
Drunk. Inebriated.
Go ahead, read some more.
So I had intercourse with her, and she conceived.
And she did what?
Conceived.
So now he raw dogging with a harlot who's supposed to be, who we thinking gonna get married in 7 days. So when she get married, whose seed she got in her belly? Read some more.
Was it rubbers back then? Like,
well, I mean, that's what we were talking about, courts.
Courts and the rubbers. So it'd have been raw dogging anyway.
Right.
Pull out that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Not understanding that I had done, it was my wish to kill her. But she sent me secretly the pledges and utterly humiliated me. And I summoned her and heard the words spoken in a mystery when I was drunk and sleeping with her. So I could not kill her because it was from the Lord.
Hold on. Let me pick this up.
I got it right here like it is.
Yeah, go ahead. Because that's kind of throwing it off.
But how is you like? What you mean you don't recognize? I know you oiled up a little taste.
Right.
But how is it you not recognizing her?
Because when you're talking about, when you start talking about stomping on fresh grapes,
Was she
Look.
Was she veiled up to the table?
I think she might have been able to write
What is the deal?
So he couldn't have been face to face with her?
No, well look at this. Look at this. How did Jacob not know that was Leah?
It's dark, no lights.
And they must not have been
Coming up in the face.
Well, look, it say
missionary.
He sported with her for years. Hold on. He sported with Rachel for 7 years. So he knew what she was like. Sporting means is courting. The same thing. So they did a little pecking, kissing. But he was at a feast before he went in there. And they got him inebriated. Look, I don't know nobody in here who can wake up and then have a rough night out at the club. And then you wake up and say, did we?
Yeah.
But you
heard about
you Come on, Carol.
If you did that and you questioning that, look, if you get to the point where it spins you out, see, it's not the deal of do you remember what happened. The liquor, what it does is when it spins you unconscious after it, you can't recall what happened.
Right.
That's what liquor does. It erases the memory. So now you're trying to think, what did I do? What did I do? And somebody have to tell you that, like when we get into the one script about about the kings, what is it for? What is the greatest? And it say women or this and that. When you talk about in the Ezra, and it breaks it down, it say wine. It said when a man is so drunk, it say the next day you can tell him that he was running down King's Highway butt naked, and he said, "You lying." Wait a minute, what do you mean you lying? You're not sure? You don't know for sure if you was? It's like you can tell the truck, man, you peed on them people's couch. What? You don't remember? I ain't peed on nobody's couch. What, you think them pants and them drawers just soaking for no reason and smelling like ammonia? You peed all over them people. You embarrassed me. I'm sorry, I don't remember doing that. It's not the fact of what it does. That's why the wine, it erases memory the next day. Just like anything else, when you get blowed out of your mind, you have to try what happened yesterday, and they explaining it to you. The same way when the devil take over you and intoxicate you with murder, and then when the police kick in, you like this with blood all over your hand. Huh? What? You know what? You done kill all these people. When? What? What? Y'all watch the first 48? It's empowering, it's intoxicating. That's what Satan do. He takes over the mind completely. And that's what he's warning us about. Wine and beautiful women. That combination like that, and you gazing and you're lusted as a fever pitch, you're going to be in trouble. The trouble we got today is the cosmetic surgery that they doing today. Yeah. That they make men look just like women. And you that intoxicated, tomorrow gonna be the least of your problems. When you wake up with your arm wrapped around somebody and you think you finna do a little more feeling and oh! Now he thought about killing her. What are you gonna do? You gonna let this get out on Facebook?
No. Get you while you sleep.
Already on time before you wake up.
That ain't even like you alive.
Boys gonna be over in the caves and the Amazon of the penguins. But y'all, let me catch up, y'all. Y'all read all of that, y'all, and y'all see that the spirits are. Can you read me a little bit more of this, 13? Read just a little bit more of this for me, Zeb. Come on, let's get caught up.
For I said, least happily she did it in subtlety, having received the pledge from another woman. But I came not again near her while I lived, because I had done this abomination in all Israel.
Right.
Because he basically uncovered his son.
Right. Which has never been permitted for a man to go into his daughter or daughter-in-law. Go ahead.
Moreover,
we right there, y'all. Y'all see that moreover? Here where we at, right there. Go ahead.
Moreover, they who were in the city said, there was no harlot in the gate,
right?
Because she came from another place and sat for a while in the gate. And I thought that no one knew that I had gone into her.
Secret. He creeping. Go ahead.
And after this, we came into Egypt to Joseph because of the famine.
Not sure about this. His wife was already dead.
Right.
At the time, he didn't even have a woman.
That's right. So, and that's why you see a lot of times men who were wives were dead, you'll find them dealing with a heart. But there's no law breaking in that unless it's wickedness by, because and what we're talking about is two single people having intercourse is not the perfect will of God, but he understands the things what's happening. He's just saying it may bring you to a price of bread, like it brought him to a price of bread. What you doing, keep going out and having your way with a harlot. If you just got a wife, you ain't gonna spend half the money dealing with a wife that you're gonna do out in the streets. Why? Because it's secret. And when you're secret, you give up more than you can afford. Well, look, you can just get back in the car and go where you came from. What the hell is $15 gonna do? My cable bill is behind. The rent is behind. This bed you want to crawl in. Renter center said they coming to get it tomorrow. And then you give up your rent money. Then I lost it. They robbed me. You pull off your shoes and a shirt and hit yourself in the jaw. They come in and and she just looked at us. I know we got you. Go ahead, read a little bit more, y'all, because I'm going to speed up. We got about 10 minutes, y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. Read some more.
And I was 46 years old, and 70, and 3 years lived I in Egypt.
So he was 40 and 6 years old when this took place outside of Egypt. 40 and 6, so he was 46 years old, and then he added another 73 years to his life. You know, I think that's what they're saying. When he came down in Egypt, or he said 17, 3 years I lived in Egypt. Yeah, so this was before we got down into Egypt.
46.
46 when you got there.
Right.
And you stay there.
Now go down, see where it says, and now my children, I say unto you, be not, this is what we need to get the understanding of, because it's going to explain what wine do to you. It's not the fact that you can't say I didn't do it. The fact is that the wine causes you to break the law when it's intoxicating. And then when you wake up the next morning, you can't remember what took place. Somebody have to tell you what happened and what you did. Now that's terrible. Because at this point you don't remember, you can't fill in the missing pieces. It's called what? Blacking out. Go ahead. Read that. Verse 14, where it says, and now my children. Wherever you at right there where it says, now my children, you just down there. I say unto you, be not drunk with wine. Or just wherever you don't skip around like that?
No, it says verse 13. I went where I was just
right there where it says, and now my children, right where you at, wherever that says.
And now
right, that's where I want you.
And now I command you, my children, hearken to Judah your father. Yeah, I didn't think that's where you want.
Go to the next one, wherever next.
See, it's numbered differently on there. All right, I got it. And now I command you, my children, not to love money.
No, you know, it's now I command my children, I say unto you, be not drunk with wine, for wine turneth the mind away from the truth and inspires the passion of lust and leadeth the eyes into error. For the spirit of fornication hath wine as a minister, to give pleasure to the mind. Go ahead and pick it up here, bro.
For these two also take away the mind of a man. For if a man drink wine to drunkenness, it disturbeth the mind with filthy thoughts.
With what kind of thoughts?
Filthy thoughts. Leading to fornication. That's crazy. And heateth the body to carnal union.
That's terrible.
Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. And if the occasion of the lust be present, he worketh the sin, and is not ashamed.
And is not ashamed. Go ahead.
Such is the inebriated man, my children. For he who is drunken reverence no man.
A drunk man don't reverence no man. You can't talk to him. That's why the script say don't try to talk to a drunk man and his wine. When he's drunk, you can't make sense. He won't hear nothing. He caused his problem at the family reunion. Here come Uncle Junior. He drunk again.
At the feast days.
Yeah, at the feast days, the same way. Drunk at whatever it is. It causes a problem, and then words are spoken out of your mind. You think you're a big shot? You know Earl ain't your dad. Junior, why you say that to him? Well, that ain't his dad. I'm his dad.
Yes,
Y'all done seen it? Ain't like I'm saying something strange to y'all. Go ahead. Where we at? You gotta finish up. Y'all got about 10 minutes. Go ahead.
For lo, it made me also to err, so that I was not ashamed of the multitude in the city.
See, he was not ashamed. He got into the wickedness that take place at Freaknik and all of these parties, these wild freak parties. See, I wasn't ashamed that I was an Israelite, that I had the covenant of the law, and I'm mixed into this fornication party like this. Go ahead, bro, read some more.
In that before the eyes of all, I turned aside unto Tamar, and I wrought a great sin, and I uncovered the covering of my son's shame.
Y'all see this again, uncovering his son's shame now? This goes back to Leviticus. This is what the Canaanites did. So what he was mad about, what his wife had done with her wicked ways, he ended up doing the same thing because wine lured him into that. Well, wine lured him into their life in the first place of the Canaanite. So what is his problem? Drinking. He can't control his liquor.
Drink till he gets
When he
drunk.
started drinking, his cabinet members take over. There she is, dog. That's what you've been waiting on. Use a plate. How is yours? And he's like, I got it. Go ahead.
After I had drunk wine,
After I had done what?
drunk wine,
Right.
I reverenced not the commandments of Yahweh, and I took a woman of Canaan to wife. For much discretion needed the man who drinketh wine, my children. Discretion needed the man who drinketh wine.
You gotta have a strong mind.
Just say that again,
You
boy.
gotta have a strong mind if you out there drinking. Discretion, you still gotta be able to choose between what's right and wrong.
Right.
If you can't do that, if it's no boundaries when you start drinking, then you need to put the liquor down.
Cut it out. Cut it out. If 3 beers make you cuss everybody out in the party, you cut it back to 2, and then you just pee in public, and you cut it back to 1, and then you still do something. What does that mean? You drink. Ain't no need you keep fooling yourself. Drinking ain't for you. There's something else out here that can deal with your infirmities or give you a little bit more merrier time when you're feasting. But it can't be that because there's no, look, a sip is too much and a barrel ain't enough. It's like crack cocaine. $10 is too much and 50 kilos ain't enough.
Kill yourself.
Eat everything. Go ahead. Come on, y'all. Let's finish this up, y'all.
And herein is discretion in drinking wine. A man may drink so long as he preserve his modesty. But if he go beyond this limit, the spirit of deceit attacketh his mind.
Right.
And maketh the drunkard to talk filth.
To do what?
To talk filth.
And that's when all the filthy talk come out. Y'all, we got to be worried about our feast days. You'll hear filthy talk when our feast days go around. Man, I kicked that money. Woo! I told that little messianic, y'all, it's wine doing that.
Wow.
We got to be so. Y'all, we got to always be on guard because you got a newcomer just sitting there. He didn't act like that yesterday in class. He didn't act like that in class yesterday. He showed his rear like that. Go ahead.
We are the descendants of our father.
Yeah.
We reading about Judah. And there's a reason why everybody in here laughing.
That's right. Because we are.
We're all gonna
Something like that.
Y'all think them Ishmaelites, why they ain't got them gas stations and the coolers, they got more alcohol in there than product?
Right.
More than the stuff you eat, they got rolls of alcohol in our neighborhood, and guess what else they got? The motel, right next door.
For them Judites.
Come get your liquor and head next door.
Liquor and women.
What they call it?
Go ahead, y'all, where we at? Did you, I was ashamed, okay, filthy talk. Okay, we just gonna read another verse and then y'all, we're gonna skip to the last chapter of the Messiah coming. Y'all, I got 2 more verses and we're gonna close out, y'all. Go ahead, bro.
and to transgress, and not to be ashamed, but even to glory in his shame, and to account himself honorable.
Y'all see that, to count himself honorable. Do y'all understand? You'll have Israelites drinking and start cursing, and then they'll start putting the Most High and cursing things, and you be like, hold on, bro, you done had too much. If we don't do that to y'all, then our feast days are worse than all of these feast days coming up. Or these folly days that are coming up. That's what I say. No. These folly days are coming up because if you're doing the same thing they're doing and you're supposed to be in a righteous state, it's more wicked than what they doing. How you gonna be in this state? We drinking and we cussing each other out, we scrapping and we doing anything that's out of the character. You know what else you're gonna do? There's somebody else woman around. You're gonna be cutting our eyes and trying to look away. You're gonna be to stay focused.
Talking about it's the feast day.
Right. Go ahead.
He that committeth fornication is not aware when he suffers loss,
You see what I'm saying now? The mind is a memory loss. Right. Go ahead.
and is not ashamed when he put to dishonor. For even though a man be a king and commit fornication, he is stripped of his kingship by becoming the slave of fornication.
A slave to his lust.
Right.
His lower member.
Right.
Thinking with the wrong head.
Right.
Living below and not above.
That's right. Absolutely. Go ahead.
As I myself also suffered. For I gave my staff.
What again?
I gave my staff.
Y'all just heard what Mally said that staff represent. Go ahead.
That is the stay of my tribe, and my girdle, that is my power, and my shield, and my diadem, that is the glory of my kingdom.
A crown. Something on his head.
That's
he,
right.
He gave for everything.
Everything.
That symbolized his royalty. All for a quick.
Wait, 2 or 20 minutes, that's all it was, you drunk? Go ahead. Right. If they told you 10 hours, you wouldn't believe it. No, but you don't know. You're drunk. If it was 30 seconds, you still. Well, I don't believe that now. Look, you got to understand, lust is on edge like that. Who ain't apologizing? Well, that ain't. I use me. I'm sorry. For the children's sake, we'll move on.
And indeed, I repented of these things.
What did he do?
I repented of these things.
This was saved Judah's life.
That's right.
Repented of these wicked things. But he acknowledged what I did. He's telling his children, y'all, I'm telling y'all, but I turned from that. Let's read some more.
Wine and flesh.
Wine and what?
And flesh.
Uh-huh.
I eat not until my old
Do
age.
you see how he cut that off? He cut it off to the point of where he had no more strength left when he started drinking. Because he knew at that point he could have talked a good game to a woman, but wasn't nothing happening below the belt. It was limp. Then he started sipping again. Go ahead.
Nor did I behold any joy. And the angel of Yahweh showed me that forever do women bear rule over king and beggar alike. And from the king they take away his glory. And from the valiant man his might. And from the beggar even that little which is in the state of his poverty. Observe therefore, my children, the right limit in wine, for there are in 4 evil spirits.
Okay. Now here's what's called, why y'all wonder why it's called distilled spirits or bottled up spirits.
True. Go ahead. Spirits in the bottle.
Of lust.
Of what?
Of lust. Of hot desire.
What kind of desire?
Hot desire.
You can't wait. Don't y'all understand? And women, you're missing the point when you're talking about foreplay. When they get there, the foreplay is on our way there. Then I'm gonna do this. Then I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna do this. His foreplay is already there. He's ready to get to work. Bang on the clock.
We on the clock.
Go ahead.
Hey, it's only funny because it's true.
Because it's true.
It's true.
Go ahead.
Of profligacy and filthy lucre. If ye drink wine in gladness, be ye modest in the fear of the Most High. For if in your gladness the fear of the Most High departed, then drunkenness arises and shamelessness stealeth in.
How did Absalom kill his brother Amnon, David's son? What did he say I'm gonna do before I put that blade to his neck? He said, I'm gonna wait till he get married with wine. He known to be laughing at. And look, Amnon and Absalom were brothers by David. Had same daddy but different moms. Well, Absalom had a sister, and her name was what? What's her name? Tamar. Amnon faked like he was sick. He was in love with his brother's sister. He was overwhelmed with her, and he acted like he was sick. I'm so sick, and she loved her brother. What you want, brother? What can I give? Make them favorite cakes you like. You knows I like them. And when she go turn around, he look. And then when she went to bring him to her, he grabbed her. She like, what you doing?
Like, don't force me.
Don't force me. What are you doing? You got and raped him. And then after he got through with it, since he was a king's son, he called the servant. Get this skank out of here. And they threw her out, and she had on the robes. David had gave her a beautiful dress that she had on. She just tore it up because it was she just felt dirty now. And she told him, she said, look, just tell my daddy you want to marry. It may not be wise to the eyes of people, but you can't rape me.
Right, don't do this.
And that tells you them Negroes out of New York teaching that you can rape a woman.
Right, exactly.
If that's the case, why Levi and Simeon killed Shechem for raping their sister? And you think I'm going to sit here and listen, you tell me you can rape my daughter when she's at 12 years old? Negro, you'll get killed. Killed. K-I-L-T. We have to understand these things that's having place. So he knew Amnon liked to drink. And he's sitting out there with his boys, and he laughed and talked, and I told him I was And Absalom was sneaking up with his blade, and Amnon boys saw him, and they broke. He just cut his brother's throat. Killed him. But wine had him off his game. Didn't see Absalom hiding in the shadows. Read some more, y'all. We're going to speed this up, y'all. Got about 5 minutes to go. Go ahead. How long have I been saying that? Just read this last part. Then we're going to move to. I just want to show you where Christ is coming. Shiloh is coming in Judah, right? In Matthew Genesis 49. Go ahead.
But if ye would live soberly, do not touch wine at all, lest ye sin in words of outrage, in fighting and slander.
And fighting and what?
Slander.
Y'all don't that always come? They say don't touch wine at all if you can't control it. Just because the scriptures say wine and lamb at the feast of Passover, that don't include you if you can't handle it.
Right.
If your brother can't handle it, you got to put guards on him. Watch it. And you'll watch the ones who can't handle it, man, they make a beeline to it, man. It's craftiness.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Transgressions of the commandments of Yahweh, and ye perish before your time.
Before your what?
Before your time.
So contrary to belief, you can die early. It's not you was born to do that. You can shorten your lifespan. Go ahead, brother.
Moreover, wine revealeth the mysteries of Yahweh, and men, even as I also reveal the commandments of Yahweh and the mysteries of Jacob, my Canaanitish woman to the Bathsheba.
See, wine reveal it because it's called liquid courage. So you get drunk. Delilah did it to Samson. Tell me, Samson, where your strength at? Keep getting him drunk, and he finally told the secrets of God.
Pillow talk.
Pillow talk. Well, the same thing with wine at the family reunion. It's going to make him tell the secrets of men. You know that ain't your dad. Earl, your dad. At the family reunion. So it reveals things when it's taken out of character. When it's overabundant, you reveal things you ought not reveal. Go ahead, read some more.
Which Yahweh bade me not to reveal.
What'd he do?
Bade him not to reveal. And wine is the cause both of war and confusion.
Now just read just a couple more verses right here. Go ahead.
And now I command you, my children, not to love money, nor to gaze upon the beauty of a woman. Because for the sake of money and beauty, I led astray to Bathsheba, the Canaanite.
So it was a beautiful Hamite woman, and her father was a king. So she had plenty of paper. So he was feeling a big muckety muck. And she was looking at Judah. Well, it ain't like I ain't royalty, but, you know, they own the wine house and what I likes. Go ahead.
For I knew that because of these two things shall my race fall into wickedness.
Shall my what?
Race fall into wickedness.
He knew it.
For even wise men among my sons shall they mar, and shall cause the kingdom of Judah to be diminished.
Right.
Which the Most High gave me because of my obedience to my father. For I never caused grief to Jacob, my father. For all things whatsoever he commanded, I did. And Isaac, the father of my father, blessed me to be king in Israel. And Jacob further blessed me in like manner. And I know that from me shall the kingdom be established.
Right here. Yeah, I got to call back up on me. Go ahead. I hit the wrong button. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
And I know what evils ye will do in the last days.
This is where we want to get to. So this identifies us where we at today. Go ahead.
Beware therefore, my children, of fornication and the love of money.
What do all the rappers talk about? Fornication and what else?
Money.
Paper chasing. Go ahead.
And hearken unto Judah your father, for these things withdraw you from the law of Yahweh.
That's all we needed in there. Y'all read all of the 4th chapter. The 4th chapter talks about Shiloh come. We just running out of time. I just want to hit these other 2 scriptures in the Bible while we have Jeremiah 13:19 and Joel 3. And then we're going to close out. I just write the rest of the book. But y'all make sure, please read the 4th chapter of this Testament of Judah. Because he going to get in there and he going to tell you, this is where the Messiah is coming from.
Hey, Dave. I'm tripping out the similarity between Judah and David.
And David.
Judah and David, how they both transgressed but repented. You know,
Right.
He came out of the royal bloodline. David was like drunk with power, so he thought he could have Bathsheba.
Right, same way. And you know, and that's what it does, man. It makes you think that you can have your way. You know, because you got a little liquor to give you false courage.
And you an exception to the rule.
Go ahead, bro. We're in Jeremiah chapter 13. Start about verse 19, y'all. And this is going to tell the difference in Judah and the other tribes and how we got to this land. But then we got dispersed to the 4 corners.
Anybody there?
Y'all just read that. I was just looking.
Jeremiah 13. Jeremiah 13, starting at verse 19.
You can back it up if you need.
The cities of the south shall be shut up. Jeremiah 13, verse 19. The cities of the south shall be shut up, and none shall open them. Judah shall be carried away captive, all of it.
What? How much of it?
All.
See, all of Judah went captive. All of the tribes, because the 10 northern tribes have been carried away. Man, I got a book called Babylon from Timbuktu that tells you where them other 10 tribes was, and we're going to get that second Ezra 13, and they're going to tell you answer, well, bro, go on now. But it was going to answer that question of how they got to the Americas and different lands around here. So get that Apocrypha chapter 13.
It's about Judah over here.
Okay, yeah, get Judah though.
This is from Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph Allman. I don't know how much it is now. When I got it, it's like $8. You can get it online. But it says a history of ancient black races, including the black Hebrews, by Rudolph R. Windsor from Babylon to Timbuktu. On page 84, it goes into how Rome sacked Jerusalem and what happened to our people. How we got into what you know today is Africa. All right, page 84. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jew slaves.
So where do they show you the pickup points from every slave movie you see? Well, they still call it today. The point of no return. What's that?
Let me read.
Go ahead, man.
It says, and then he quotes Deuteronomy 28:64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. This prophecy and all the residue of the prophecies contained in Deuteronomy 28 befell the black Jews after they disobeyed the laws of God. Many nations transported the Jews into slavery, and the sons of Israel transmigrated to every continent. The Israelite philosopher Philo, about 40 BC to 40 AD, who lived in Egypt, said that 1 million Jews resided in Libya and Egypt. That's North Africa.
Now, hold on. Libya? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Libya and Egypt. From the Catabathmos to the borders of Ethiopia. Professor A.H. Godby says that Philo leaves us doubtful about which boundaries of Ethiopia he meant. I think that Philo meant the western and southern boundaries of Ethiopia because of the prophet Zephaniah, mentioned from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, the daughters of my dispersed. There was a period of over 600 years between Zephaniah and Philo, and considering the new waves of immigrants coming into Africa, they had 600 years to penetrate toward all the borders. Ethiopia, E. A. Shua wrote that Hebrewism was detectable by its inscriptions from the Egyptian border westward across North Africa to Mauritania. A.H. Godby says Jerome 340 to 420, one of the four doctors of the church, wrote that Jews were spread from the western extremity of Mauritania to India. Now, ancient Mauritania included part of the territory on the Atlantic Ocean, Morocco, and part of modern Algeria. It is certain that the Jews had migrated all across North Africa by the 2nd century. Some scholars fixed the date earlier than this.
Y'all see that? So, y'all, and when the whole house of Judah went into captivity, we got loaded on them ships. Y'all, after the abolitionists started letting us go out, like that book of colored people, how they left, got on ships and went to Canada and different things like that. And now they're over all in the Netherlands, over in the British Empire, but they still ain't escaped Deuteronomy 28. Because Genesis 49 say they still, Genesis 28, 49 say they use the symbol of an eagle. So Babylon is still in them there, and they still up under that roof. But go ahead, man.
This right here is another book by the same author, Judea Trembles Under Rome. You really can find it today. I don't know if some of the brothers can find it, whatever. But right here is a picture. It says Judean Hebrews from Upper Senegal, West Africa. These men are the descendants of the ancient Judean nation Their ancestors fled from Jerusalem before the arrival of the Roman armies, which were under the command of Vespasian and General Titus. All these brothers got big noses, braids, locks, and all that. We'll pass it around so y'all can look at it and see.
Straight Negro.
I need this back though.
That's right, boy, because you know how you give information where it ain't coming back. But let me just read this last bit. This was chapter 4. I want y'all to get in the Testament of Judah. And after these things shall a star arise to you from Jacob in peace. Shiloh. And a man shall arise from my seed, like the son of righteousness, walking with the sons of men in meekness and out the spirit. In meekness and righteousness, and no sin shall be found in him. And the heavens shall be open to him to pour out the Spirit, even the blessing of the Holy Father. And he shall pour out the Spirit of grace upon you. And you shall be unto him sons in truth. And you shall walk in his commandments, first and last. This branch of the of God Most High, and this fountain giving life unto all. Then shall the scepter of my kingdom shine forth, and from your root shall arise a stem, and from it shall grow a rod of righteousness to the Gentiles, to judge and to save all that call upon the Lord. And after these things shall Abraham and Isaac and Jacob arise to life, and I and my brothers shall be chiefs of the tribes of Israel. Levi first, I the second, Joseph the third. And go on, but y'all make sure y'all read that. I just want to get that back. But that Jeremiah 13:19, you finished that?
No, well, we basically.
Good. Okay, so now just give me y'all these last two, y'all. We out of here. Joel chapter 3, verse 6. And this is just showing you Judah's prophecy. Y'all, this is what we're doing. We're showing you why we here and why we call ourselves fourth tribe. Right. You got to be able to explain that, y'all, through prophecy, not through because I decided that would look good to me in the Bible. So I chose that one. That's great.
The sound, that's what the Jews did.
Yeah. But see, if you notice, they never named what tribe they're from. They just call themselves Israelis. Israelites. Joel chapter 3. Give me, y'all gonna hit this, y'all gonna pull on out. Hit me 3 and 6. And then jump down to verse 18 through 21. And that's gonna pull. I'm gonna write the rest of them down on the board and y'all write them down. And this is another thing I want y'all to understand too about the Israelites. Everywhere, who is Esau and Jacob, we have to understand that because of the word red and the other word ruddy. Now, if you look up ruddy in that Zondervan, it's going to give a different definition of red. Red is the color of flesh with no pigment. That's why our birthstone was the sardius and the jasper stone, and where they was put in the breastplate. So y'all, once you look up a sardius and a jasper stone, or it's called cornelian, I'm gonna write all this on the board before we get out of here. And you look up, it's a reddish round color, or like we have, or our darkest individual is like a deep mahogany and the blood comes up through the face. Now Esau is just red, it doesn't have any, that melanin that we got, that separates the two. But everywhere you look in the Bible where it says ruddy, it's gonna be tied to an Israelite. So you can't mix the two. It's just talking about the blood. And the stones signify the blood covenant. This is what's going to happen with them. The sardius and jasper. And then Revelation, when Christ coming, Revelation 4:3, he's coming with the jasper stone and the sardius. That's what we're seeing. So it's identifying what he's looking like when he's coming back as well. So y'all look that up, but I'm going to put that all on the board because we run out of time. I just want to hit that Joel 3. And I'm going to put the rest of them up on the board, and y'all check them out when y'all get time. What you guys say?
It's a video on YouTube that these German scientists have proven that those 12 stones in the breastplate are the only precious stones that reflect perfect light.
Yeah, I see it.
Y'all, it's a reason that Most High put those in Aaron's breastplate. It ain't just for decoration. or blinged out. It's why you always wear that gold that they had you going to the store to Jacob the jeweler. And they get them big blinged out. Y'all, it's just in our nature. It's there, but it's chasing a different breastplate.
Right.
We got to understand that, y'all. And we got to understand when the Most High say the fullness of the world is mine and everything in it. Everybody plays a part. Every nation, he just like Joseph was Jacob's favorite, Israel is just his favorite of all the nations out of the world. The nations that he hates or the nations that hate him. It's not talking about every individual of those nations, just like every Israelite hate our Messiah too. There's some Israelites that hate our Messiah. They call non-messianic. Antichrist are our people first.
Yeah, sure.
They're Antichrist. If they say they don't believe in the Messiah, what's that name for?
Yeah.
Antichrist.
That was the ones that was hunting us.
They was hunting us. Read on. Read that Joel for me, y'all. We're going to get out of here.
Joel chapter 3, verse 3. They have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
Now, when you get the movie called Goodbye, Uncle Tom, it's the most graphic slave movie ever made.
Bad in America.
Bad in America. They'll show you little boys dressed up as young girl back there with makeup all over.
Young thug.
Brother John have all the videos that he be giving out. But they put makeup on them and glitter. And they had them wiggling and dancing and these
Young thug.
thirsty men coming in, man, licking their chops, man, looking at these young boys, and they sold it. Look, the price was wine. They would pass off a bottle of Jack Daniels. Here you go. Looking at them young boys like that. And a girl for a harlot. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
What we sell them to?
The Grecians.
See, the children of Judah, and it keeps separating them from the other 10 tribes. The other 11 tribes, well, Benjamin was with Judah. So it keeps separating the two. That's why Hebrews 8:8, Jeremiah 31:31, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. We're going to come back one-fold. Go ahead, brother.
That ye might remove them far from their border.
Right, now jump down to verse 18.
18. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountain shall drop down new wine,
Right.
and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with water.
What rivers of who?
Of milk.
I'm saying who? What tribe is it saying?
Judah.
Right.
Shall flow with water.
Right.
And a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be desolate wilderness.
What verse you in?
19.
Okay, go ahead.
For the violence against the children of Judah.
Violence against who?
The children of Judah. Because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed. For the Lord dwelleth in Zion.
So y'all, we see there, and then again, like I say, if you look up, everybody trying to tell you that Zeus dwells in Mount Olympus. Two different doctrines, two different gods being served.